Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. He's Authentic. I'm The Beard. This is the best division in football with Awthentic and The Beard, brought to you by All the Nothing Studios. Welcome back, everybody. Today is the biggest day in sports. It is Super Bowl Sunday. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City. It's going to be what we all probably think a really good game.
I hope so, bro. I hope so.
So Authentic, how's everything been going the last couple of days, couple of weeks?
Yeah, a couple of weeks, right? It feels like it's been a whole month since we had football. Well-deserved break for Authentic and The Beard, man. I've been chilling, man. Playing a lot of Apex. Had a little problem with my Xbox. Shout out to my homie AJ one time. I hope he's in the chat, yo, because we went through some hours of lining up some of these games. Shout out Max Webster, too, man. He launched his podcast. I know you were in the chat on that. That was really dope. He's doing a podcast where instead of like talking sports and talking giant stuff, he's actually featuring content creators and talking more about life and stuff like that, man. He's got an interesting life story too, man. It was real dope to get to chop it up. It was
really interesting to listen to that the first episode. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, definitely unexpected. He gave me a little bit of briefing on that one time when I was helping him set up his mic. But that's about it. And then, we got 2 cats in the crib. You already know that. There's a third cat in the alley who we feed, who he's been neutered. I saw they clipped his ear. They clip cats' ears around here who actually get neutered, and they throw them back out to the public. And we've been getting some snow here on the East Coast. So now we got a third cat here. If you ever see me looking down, that's The Beard looking at him actually right now. He's a crazy little character.
Smoke Dog.
Smoke Dog is definitely in the house. And here's the crazy part: is every time he pulls up to the window and he's like looking for food, I'll be like, "Smoke Dog in the house," and now he's literally in the house. So I don't know. We might have a third cat on our hands. He doesn't seem to want to leave, man. He just been chilling. And lastly, man, we got a radio host here locally who I want to say is on 93.9. Easy Street, who saw our podcast on The Beard's Facebook page, reached out to The Beard, talked about how he liked the graphics and whatnot. And, he reached out to me to do a closer for him for his YouTube channel. So I knocked that out this week too, man. And I'm going to be sending over the finals to him. So it's been a pretty active week, but I wouldn't call it a busy week. It's been pretty chill considering your week, man. I know you.
Yes.
Today's not only the biggest day in sports. It's been a pretty big weekend for The Beard here one time.
So it was a pretty wild weekend. So yesterday was Josie's birthday. Josie was my girlfriend, but now is my fiance. So yes,
that means the boy proposed on Saturday, yesterday, on her birthday.
On her birthday.
Which is pretty gangster.
Yeah, so yesterday was Josie's birthday, her 30th birthday. And
you don't do that. Come on, cuz.
Oh, well, she's young. We're going to rewind. So,
we'll be right back after this commercial break.
So yesterday was her birthday, and I proposed, and she said yes. Emphatically, it wasn't just a yes. It was like a F-bomb yes. So that was pretty awesome, too.
Up, yo.
So her family was pretty lit. They were excited. So we had a great time. And then today's my birthday. So it's like Super Bowl, my birthday, Josie's birthday, engagement, all in one. So it was a pretty eventful weekend. Not to mention, I made it to the sports book yesterday morning, and that was an experience too. Here in DC, the official sports book is open, but they haven't opened like the whole place yet because COVID and everything like that. So I went down there, and that was pretty interesting. Yes, and also today is the late, great Jay Dilla's birthday.
You already know. You know
shout
what
out,
it is, man.
Shout out
one of
Jay
the greatest
Dilla.
producers ever, man. And speaking on the Dilla thing, they did a panel discussion for DC Loves Dilla on Wednesday. And in between all the commercial breaks, they was airing the performance that me and Camber did McNasty Filth, man. I thought that was pretty dope. And seeing it back, I was like, wow, man, like, you got to study those lyrics, and you really don't want to mess up lyrics doing a tribute. I've seen that happen on like BET Awards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And seeing it back with me and Camber, it was a like back and forth. And my man Lalo too, actually. Y'all know Mr. HD came up on the channel a couple times. He was involved in the performance as well. And we did like a trio of back and forth rhyming, man. Super dope. Like when I was hearing it back, I was like, I didn't even remember being able to pull off these lyrics like that, but it was a fire performance. They used it for like 4 or 5 commercial breaks. And I want to say that was the one that had Common as the headliner, man. That was real dope.
There's been some really dope Dilla tributes that you've been a part of, and that, I've been fortunate enough to witness. I remember that one time where, what was that, Howard Theater one, where like they wasn't trying to let us in with you, and we had to like find a way to get in.
Oh, we always finesse. I'll tell you one that's better than that was the Trelectro finesse with you and Mike Simone. When we pulled up, y'all kind of went to the back of the line. Me and Gretzel just finessed to the front. Shout out to Modi. He walked us right in, and I couldn't get Mike Simone and the Beard into the festival. Trelectro was like one of the biggest festivals, so we swindled them like 2 like backstage artist passes. And they just walked in backstage like they were artists. Nobody said nothing. So, we the king of the finesse, man, out here. How we do.
Let me tell you, too, because we ended up having to wait, Simone and I did, before you guys could get us in. Like, you got us.
Forever.
Like, I've never, like, first of all, shout out to Awthentik because, we don't wait in lines much very often because of Awthentik. So, like, I've never waited in line for anything in my entire life like that. Like, it was
hours.
It was blocks, city blocks. And then literally as soon as we got to the front of it, they were like, yeah, we're not letting anybody else in. And
that was like...
we were literally the next 2 people in.
They were literally at the front gate, and I was at the front gate waiting on them. It was like going to see your homie in jail and like picking up the little phone, and like they right behind the glass, and it's like, yo, I can't do nothing for you, bro. You're going to be in there. But ended up finessing, man. That was dope, man. But you definitely right about the DC Loves Dilla tributes, man. Shout out to John Lane. Shout out to Ma Dukes, Jay Dilla's mom, who's a big part of that. Mm-hmm. And she actually ended up marrying one of the homies from around the way from DC. Shout out to Tone Smith. She was on the panel too on Wednesday as well, man. And the Dilla tribute, we got to find a way. When COVID and all this is over, we got to find a way to open that back up, because I want to say right before COVID that last year they didn't do a tribute for it.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to be involved in a little piece of that. I'm working on this documentary for the album. That's mainly why the album hasn't dropped. And I'm going to feature a piece of that has to do with that weekend. I don't know if you remember this. The weekend that I quit at the old studio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember.
Was the golf tournament that we did. Yeah. I got all the footage from the golf tournament. It was the Thursday Raekwon Cuban Link 25th anniversary show that we were part of. And then Friday was that DC Loves Dilla with Common. And then Monday, I quit my job. So, like, all that's going to be featured in this documentary.
Talk about a crazy weekend.
Yeah, that was crazy as yours. That is monumental.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy weekend, man. Like, and I mean, before I say what's up to everybody in the chat, I just want to say, like, that show at the Fillmore with the Raekwon one, right? We blew, like, everybody's minds because, like, Raekwon and them had, like, a giant, like, banner thing. And Awthentik comes on stage and we run in.
It was like a set design.
Visuals.
Yeah, it was
like,
crazy.
People were, like, they were like, yo, what is going on? Like, that was a crazy stuff, man.
Yeah,
documentary.
I'm glad we documented all that stuff.
That documentary is gonna be so fire.
Yeah,
that album's gonna be so fire. So.
I'm gonna try to chop it up in a little like short film, short piece of stuff. So man, hopefully I can have that out by the spring. We'll see how things are going though.
It's gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna take a second to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, and of course YouTube. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It does help get this stream out to the YouTube universe, and we really appreciate it. Shout out to my man Anthony, Bluegrass Pickers in the building. He is a Chiefs fan, so I know he is stoked and ready.
Yeah, he's definitely hyped, man. And shout out Anthony, man. Always showing a lot of love to Awthentik and The Beard, man. Plugging our stuff, man. We definitely appreciate you, bro.
Sugar Tots in the building.
In the building.
What's going on, brother? Thank you for stopping by.
What up, fam? What up?
Mac the Giants fan says, word.
Hey, what up, Mac? Mac launched this podcast. Y'all make sure to go sub up to Mac the Giants fan. He's got a podcast too, man. Somebody drop that link. I wonder if Mac is I can't tell in StreamYard if he's a moderator, but we need to make that happen if not.
Yes, sir. And then big shout out, Roman. That avatar.
That's the one. I missed it, bro. I missed the Daniel Jones mugshot, man. I did, bro.
It's
What's
so
up, Roman?
Funny. Suchith.
Suchith in the building. Still got that wrench.
What's going on, man? How you doing? Per Mac says JPP for MVP.
Yeah, Perry Mack in the building one time. JPP been balling out, man. 9.5 sacks on the season, man. I know a lot of Giants fans are definitely missing that productivity on that defensive line, especially coming off the edge, man.
And I laid some bets down on some MVPs, so I'm gonna show you guys and tell you guys some of my bets that I made for this weekend.
That's what's up.
Shout out to Glenn, the Swamp Pickers in the building. What's going on,
Glenn?
brother? Thank you for stopping by. And Chopped Liver is here. Wants to know where we've been. We've been working.
Yeah, we've been working, man. Had to take a little break off, man. We're getting ready for this off-season content push we about to do here before the draft. And hopefully it flies by, man, in the summer. I'm ready to get back to Giants football, man.
Yeah,
I don't even feel the same.
There's a lot going on, right now. Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz news just broke, so there's going to be tons of stuff for us to talk about. Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sunday, always holding us down in the chat. We appreciate it, as always.
Big shout out to Sunday. Big faithful in this Giants community, yo. We definitely appreciate you.
Waterfly's in the building. What's going on, Waterfly? Thank you for stopping through.
I second that with Waterfly. What's up, fam? What's up?
Joseph.
Hey,
What's up,
Bobby
Joseph?
in the building one time. What's up,
How
fam?
you doing, brother? Thank you for coming through. We appreciate it, as always. And Cody.
Hey, Cody in the building one time. Oh, man.
I
hear that record I had called Here They Come?
Yes,
You remember that old one we recorded out in your basement? Had the little sirens in the background.
I hear you're pretty high on this Nelson Aguilar signing that's going to be going down, apparently.
Yeah, Cody been banking on that. I don't know how I feel about that. There's a couple of wide receivers out there for cheap. Real quick, man, I saw that Rashard Higgins is out there for pretty cheap. They estimated him to be at around $6 million.
I saw you tweet about that.
Yeah, 2 seasons of 4 touchdowns. He doesn't get a lot of catches, not a lot of yards, but definitely sees his way to the end zone. So
Jay Berman's in the building. What's going on, Jay? How you doing,
Jay
brother?
Berman
Thank
in the building.
you for
What's up,
stopping
fam?
through.
Doing
We
good, doing
appreciate
good.
it. Blacks
good,
044 shoveling some snow.
Hey, I just look, I waited to shovel that first batch of snow like 2 days ago, and now we got this new little batch of snow on the deck, and our deck is like straight up danger zone, bro.
Who you telling? I took the trash out on Tuesday.
I went out there with some new boots the other day, dog. I was skitty-batty booping out that joint,
Yo,
dog.
walking down the stairs.
Oh, it's terrible.
The stair, the like platform for each stair is like this thin.
Oh, it's terrible. It's awful. I'm gonna have to put in a word to the landlord because it's either gonna be putting a word to the landlord or he gonna be getting some papers from the lawyer soon after I fall off that deck because it's crazy out there.
It is pretty sketch for sure. Shout out to Nate. Talks Giants in the
what
building.
up, Nate?
What's
How you
going
living,
on,
fam?
brother?
How you living?
Hope all is
Make
doing
sure y'all
well.
sub up to Nate.
There's AJ. He's here. What's going on, AJ?
Yeah, AJ in the building. Damn near lost his Xbox account messing with me, man. Good looks, bro. I definitely appreciate you. I'm about to hop up on this Madden, man, and try to do some damage. As soon as I get a couple warm-up games, I'm going to challenge Kyle Pizzle. I see Kyle Pizzle been doing the Madden on his channel a lot. I've been seeing it probably about once a week. Somebody told me he's running on pro or rookie or something like that. I'm about to get my chops back. I ain't played Madden in about 5 years. And then, you might see Kyle Pizzle on Awthentik and The Beard for a little head-to-head matchup here.
Look, there's only one way to play Madden. That's all Madden.
Man, I'm going to tell you, though, that's our era. In this era, you put it on all Madden, you lead a game, you have Patrick Mahomes, you have 7 picks, 3 touchdowns. It'd be, dog, all Madden, the secondary be crazy. I don't know about in this 2021 Madden, but like maybe 2-3 years ago, man, it was awful with the interceptions, bro.
Big shout out to Michelle. Michelle is a loyal, faithful viewer of over the years. I appreciate you stopping through.
Hey,
Michelle,
shout out
thank
Michelle.
you.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday.
Joseph is in the building. What's going on, Joseph? Shout out to Joseph and my man Jimmy from Old School Flips. They just launched their Arizona Cardinals YouTube channel. It is called The Cardinal Rule.
Ooh, that's a dope name.
It's a dope name, yeah.
That's a dope name.
And they just dropped their first video this past week, so definitely go get them a sub. Check them out for sure.
Yeah, drop that link if you're a mod, Joseph. I still haven't had a chance to check out the video. Been doing some things over here, but I'm going to definitely peep that.
Mac Lowe in the building.
Hey, Mac Lowe in the building. I think this might be Mac Lowe first time in the building one time. What's up, man? That's a MC from the DMV area, man. Real dope. Make sure y'all be on the lookout for the homie Mac Lowe, man, putting out some new tunes, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got for 2021, bro. Hit me up if you need some help with anything, man.
For show. Big shout out to C-Bands. Never stay lacking.
Yeah, every time I see C-Band's name, I'll be like, wait, what? Like, and then, I kind of put it together. We need some spaces in these YouTube names, but I still get down with that name and that picture, that left tackle on that picture. That's amazing.
Shout out Kyle. What's going on? Kyle Key, our Houston Texans resident fan. Him and Cernock are the Texan fans in the building.
Hey, this is my little hot take. I think the Texans are going to be just fine next year. People trying to put them in that Philadelphia Eagles bracket, of turmoil, destruction, you might call it in Philadelphia, but I don't want to lump the Texans in that pool. I think the Texans just had an off year. Defensively they played really bad this year. Offensively, Deshaun Watson put his numbers up, and I think if he stays there, they're gonna have a good chance of making another run and getting themselves back into the playoffs.
Yeah, they're gonna be in the hunt for wide receivers also.
Yeah. I was telling this to Fisk, man. Like, it's hard to gauge their wide receivers. Like, are they the beneficiary of having a quarterback like Deshaun Watson? Or is, Brandon Cooks a solidified number one, which Fisk was telling me, like, yeah, he thinks Brandon Cooks is a number one wide receiver. He referenced the damage that he did in New England when he was balling with Tom Brady and when he was with the Rams, too. But I don't know. Cooks
it's tough.
He don't jump off the page as a real number one to me.
It's really tough because I've never seen somebody, like you see people that come into the league, right, that maybe like undrafted or a low draft pick, and they kind of bounce around from team to team to team, right? And they don't necessarily play well. He's played for like 5 teams in his first 6 years.
I know. That's really interesting, man. If the player is of the caliber that people think he is, why is he moving around from team to team? But then when you look at the production, you look at the numbers look really good. He was a 1,000-yard wide receiver this year. And hopefully they have Fuller coming back next year as well.
He's a free agent, right? Will Fuller?
I think Will Fuller is a free agent this year.
And he's going to be suspended, I think, for the first couple of games because of the PED situation.
I mean, I think the Texans should, it'd be in their best interest to try to bring him back.
Will Fuller's a dog if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, he's a baller.
That's facts.
You've always liked Will Fuller.
Yeah, Notre Dame guy, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to, like, judge players when you watch them every Saturday.
Facts.
So.
Facts. Yeah, I'm like that with the Giants, man. I'm all invested in players that a lot of people don't know,
Big shout out to ABCDEF in the building. What's going on?
I like that entertainer Avi you got going on there, bro.
Sabrina's in the building.
Sabrina in the building. What's up, Sabrina? How you living?
What's going on? And then Gretz is here too. Big shout out to Gretz. Thank you for joining
us. Happy birthday to
As
the Beard
always.
one time. That's
Max
a birthday.
Max Webster. Make sure you guys are all subscribed to Max Webster, man. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, Max is going to have a lot of dope features on that podcast, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned.
And big shout out to Marjorie, always holding us down, as always, in the chat. We appreciate it. Shazad. Look, I got the shape up, the beard looking good.
Yeah,
got the fade. You know what I'm saying? I know you've been asking.
You had to get right, man. You can't be proposing with no haircut. That ain't no vibes.
Big shout out to my barber Jimmy. I was like, hey, look, Jimmy, man. I do everything last minute. I'm bad at it. Hopefully, that's something that'll change with marriage. But he was like, dude, you're always calling me up like a couple of days before a big event, like, hey, I need a haircut.
Hey, bruh.
But shout out to Jimmy for getting me looking right. I do appreciate it, brother. As always,
cleaned you up.
Thank you to everybody in the chat. Lucas is in the building. I see Lucas. Look, this is a super sticker. So thank you to Max Webster for the $2.99 super sticker. It's a super sticker. Super sticker. That sticker is super, yeah. Shout out to Max Webster. We appreciate it. Diggy in the building. What's going on, Diggy?
Hey, what's up, Diggy? How you living, fam? Make sure y'all sub up to Diggy, man. He's been dropping constant content this offseason already. Beat us to the punch, man. And I like that tweet you posted earlier. He was like, Awthentik and The Beard coming back and show Bill Belichick coming out the tunnel with the cut sleeves off, ready to go, man. That's what's up.
Big shout out, Rogue Dog.
Hey, Rogue Dog in the building. What's up, fam? How you living?
What's going on?
How you living?
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here on Super Bowl Sunday, and we're gonna talk about the big game. This is going to be something special. So, Tampa Bay finished regular season at 11-5. The City finished the regular season at 14-2. Kickoff is going to be at 6:30 p.m. Well, that's that they say, but it's Super Bowl.
All the BS, you already know.
So you know how that goes. The spread is currently Kansas City is a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 56 points. So
56.
Yeah, and these two teams did face off earlier this season. Kansas City ended up winning that game 27-24. It was kind of an interesting game because Kansas City jumped out to a 17-0 lead in the first quarter in that game. And then Tampa Bay outscored Kansas City 14-0 in the fourth quarter, which kind of made it a real close game. And I know Awthentik remembers that game like it was yesterday because he had Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes on his fantasy team.
And we went
that
off.
week, I believe they combined for over 700 total yards of offense and 6 touchdowns. So it was...
Yeah, it was ridiculous, man. You had Patrick Mahomes with 462 yards, 3 touchdowns, 124.7 quarterback rating. I mean, the dude was on fire. Tyreek Hill had 15 targets, 13 catches, 269 yards. From the wide receiver, that sounds like a quarterback numbers. A quarterback could go 13 of 15, 269, 3 touchdowns, run the rock all day, and you'd be good to go. Just a ridiculous game, and the score kind of makes it look like, wait, what happened here? Like, this should have probably been a blowout. But I do remember watching this game, and although the score was close, The Bucs scored some points late in the fourth quarter, like you mentioned. I still feel like the Chiefs kind of coasted to a victory here. It was a two-score game for the most part.
It was definitely a lot. It looked a lot closer in the box score than the game actually was itself.
Yeah, definitely.
Gronkowski had a big game that day.
Yeah, one of his only big games.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he's been a staple on this line, I mean, definitely blocking well this year. But, Tom Brady, man, I want to get to Tom Brady. I still haven't made my pick. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all in the chat.
I was telling Awthentik before we started, it's like, these are the two quarterbacks that I just never bet against. I would never bet against Tom Brady, especially in the Super Bowl. I've made one of the craziest things. The bet I made when the Falcons Super Bowl, I was sick as a dog. I had to leave the Super Bowl party at halftime, and before I left, I don't know how much were they down by in that Super Bowl.
24 or 28.
I made in-game bets on New England coming back basically and winning that game by a certain amount of points, and I made a lot of money. And that you just don't bet against them. And then Patrick Mahomes, it's like. It's very difficult to bet against either one of these quarterbacks. So, yeah, this game is going to be one of the toughest games to pick in Super Bowl history, especially in recent history that I can remember.
Yeah, Giants fans, we could pick against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
We had Tom Brady's dad as our quarterback for a long time.
Eli's not walking through that door for Kansas City, though.
That is facts. and Patrick Mahomes, his tenure is very short. Sample size is very short, considering, the GOAT and what he's done in his career. Tom Brady's going for his 7th Super Bowl win. And beating the Packers last week actually got him a $500,000 bonus. And I want to say, if he wins this game, he'll earn another $500,000. So Tom Brady just on a playoff run is about to earn $1 million, which is crazy. But I will say this, in the postseason so far, he's been playing okay. Eye test wise, he's been playing pretty well, but these numbers that I dug up don't seem that great. He's 60 of 109, 55% for Tom Brady. That number right there really struck me. 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Granted, the 3 interceptions was in one game against the Packers, and I talked about this on our last show 2 weeks ago. A lot of those interceptions wasn't Tom Brady's fault. I'd say at least 2 of them weren't his fault. The high went off Mike Evans' hands, and then the bomb was a protection issue that, caused Tom Brady to have to throw the ball away a little bit early there.
So let me ask you, how much of that completion percentage do you think falls on some of the receivers? Because I know that there's been times during this postseason stretch in particular that we've noticed drop passes by Godwin early in the he made up for it this last game, but Mike Evans had a couple of drops in this last game. So I wonder how much. Obviously, it can't be like that much to make that drastic of a change.
Could bump it up maybe a little bit in the percentage there.
Couple
but
points.
If Tom Brady was around 60, it would seem more normal.
Yeah.
It's interesting because with my eyes, Tom Brady has played really well, even against the Packers with the 3 interceptions. I thought he played good football. And Mike, speaking of Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, their last game, Chris Godwin balled out against the Packers. They combined for 161 yards and they had 4 catches of 15 plus yards, which that's really good. They combined for 8 catches, but Chris Godwin had 5 catches for 110 yards. So he got the bulk load of the work in that game. And this is the thing about both those wide receivers. I don't know if I could trust both of them. I'm a little bit sketched out, I feel like I can trust Tyreek Hill a little bit more. I could trust Travis Kelce, and I could trust maybe Patrick Mahomes a little bit more. If this pressure can get to Tom Brady, that's going to be the number one factor for me in this game. And we know we got Steve Spags over there on the other side.
And that's a huge look. A lot of people will downplay that, right? Because he was the coordinator, for those Giants that beat Tom Brady, right?
Yeah, both times I want to say.
And it's different personnel, it's a different time period. There's a lot of different variables that go into that. That being said, from a coaching X and O's perspective, like, it does play, no matter what anybody says, in my mind, it does play somewhat of a role. Because you might not be able to do the exact same thing that you did with the Giants against the Patriots when you beat them, right? But there's some tendencies that you might be able to pick up on and little things that you might be able to do to kind of nudge your players on the defensive side in the right direction to kind of, get in Brady's face, kind of disrupt things a little bit.
Yeah.
And we all know, like, that's the biggest thing with Tom Brady is like, and the pressure has to come from the middle too, most of the times.
Yeah, because he can step up in that pocket. I mean, Tom Brady will step all the way up in that pocket to make a throw. But I mean, even outside of them 2 Super Bowls, you can credit the win that the Chiefs got on them in the regular season. What was that week? What was that like? Oh, week 12. They got the win. And Spagnuolo has a record of 2-3, Tom Brady has a record of 2-3 versus Steve Spagnuolo, which is his worst record against any defensive coordinator in the NFL. In those games, he's got 9 touchdowns. He's been sacked 13 times in 5 games. His total QBR going up against Steve Spagnuolo is 60.8. So Spags definitely has a formula of how to beat Tom Brady. I think entering, or re-implementing Antonio Brown into this game plan is going to be a big thing here. He's coming back off the injury. He had touchdowns in 4 of his last 5 games. And these numbers right here, I forget who it was. It was somebody on our podcast in the chat I was arguing with about Antonio Brown being a staple for this team so far. In 8 games, he had 45 catches, 483 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So let's just hypothetically double that up and say if he played a full season, you're looking at almost 1,000-yard wide receiver with 8 touchdowns and 90 catches. I don't think Antonio Brown has missed a step, and we're talking about a crowded wide receiver core over in Tampa Bay.
I mean, you could easily say, like, if you had, let's just say hypothetically, if you had, a regular offseason, Tampa, and you had Antonio Brown from the beginning of the season, you could have easily had 3 1,000-yard receivers on that team.
Most definitely.
Because Godwin didn't get to 1,000, but he missed 3 or 4 games. And then you have Mike Evans, who hit the 1,000, as we know, who broke the record for most consecutive seasons with 1,000 yards receiving. So it's like, that's the thing about this game too. It's interesting, because I went to Twitter, and when you posted the clip of us talking about the Kansas City offense, about how is this possibly the best offensive unit that we've seen. If you really look at this game, the amount of weapons, Pro Bowlers, All Pros on the field on both sides of offense, it's insane.
It's insane. And then if you stack up defense too, I mean, the Bucs defense is just a bunch of just big name players, man. They got a lot of players on that defense.
And it's going to be huge. Their defense, and this is one of the things that's had me wavering back and forth. It's just like, if I had to choose between these 2 defenses, I would choose Tampa Bay as the better defense.
I think I'm with you on that. Just more players in more positions, because I like the secondary for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I like what they present. They're 5th in the league in interceptions too, and I want to say that the Bucs are somewhere close to that as well. But the front 4 of the Bucs is just ridiculous. I mean, they just got so many players. Jason Pierre-Paul out here, and the amount of sacks that this front has generated has been really good. They also got Vita Vea back from injury. You got Ndamukong Suh, who had 6 sacks. Jason Pierre-Paul led the team with 9.5 sacks. Shaq Barrett, he's coming off that edge, ferocious.
Crazy.
Devin White at linebacker, 9 sacks. The Bucs were 4th in sacks in the NFL, and they were 2nd in QB hits. They're going up against a quarterback that doesn't get hit that much, though.
And that's the thing is a lot of times I feel like people don't give Mahomes enough credit for his mobility.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
I think it can go one or 2 ways with that.
Yeah.
Because some people kind of overcredit him with his mobility, because when you see him run, I mean, that's why he took that big hit where he got the whatever it was, the concussion or the neck injury in the playoff game. He's not fast, he's not quick, but he's just very smart. It's a very smart runner. It kind of reminds me of Aaron Rodgers in that aspect of things, where when he is running out in the field, he's looking to see who's going to hit him. And he's looking to get down or make a play or get out of bounds, or, sneaky fake like he's going out of bounds and then not go out of bounds. So I do think some people are on both sides of that.
Yeah. Big shout out to Waterfly for the $2 super chat. 999. Congrats, Tim. Thank you, Waterfly. Appreciate it, brother. I haven't done that in a wild.
I see you got to get them rhythms back, man.
But it was,
know?
I mean, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'll give you a 9. I'll give you a 9 out of 10. I see Caitlin Dragon was asking about how much snow was falling here in DC.
Dragon.
56. Right. But today we didn't get much. I mean, there's been some big flakes falling out the sky, but the temperature's a little bit warmer, so it's not really sticking too crazy on the streets. But that first one, what you think we got? Maybe about a good 5-6 inches?
Yeah,
maybe?
it was a weird storm because so like today it was snowing at like a rapid pace. But it was, like you said, the ground wasn't very cold because it had been warmer the last couple of days. But then last time, it was super cold, but it was snowing, like, at the slowest pace. So, like, here in D.C., it's very difficult. Like, you either are going to be a part of the big storm or you're going to hit nothing. So, like...
And the last couple of years has been nothing.
Yeah, but I'd say in the end, we probably got about 6 inches over the course of the 2 days. But we had a lot of like mixed precipitation, which kind of iced things over. So it was interesting. But today it snowed and now it's all gone.
Yeah, it made that deck crazy out there, straight up. I'll tell you that joint. I was shoveling away the ice. I waited stupid long to go shovel because somebody shoveled our front like little sidewalk joint. I thought it just melted away. I'm like, oh man, we gonna be all right. I go back out there on the deck. I'm like, oh nah, this gotta go. And with the new cat, I've been trying to let him out. So, like, when I go to let him out, there's snow all over the backyard. He's like, nah, bro, I'm not going out there. So I was like, maybe if I shovel, I can get his ass out the house. And then that didn't work either.
Oh, man, Smoke Dog.
Yeah, Smoke Dog, he's a wild cat, man. But let's talk about these injuries, too, man, on this offensive line for the Chiefs, because I think that's going to definitely
big story.
Play a role. Yeah, that's definitely a big story here. Depleted offensive line for sure. In Week 6, they had already lost their right tackle, Mitchell Schwartz. He injured his back in practice. It was his first missed game in his 9-year career, man, I hate seeing guys who are just healthy their whole career like that go out with an injury. And then here in the playoffs, in the championship game, they lost their left tackle, Eric Fisher. He ruptured his Achilles in that game. And he only missed 18 snaps the whole season, which came in that game. So you're talking about a guy who's been very durable for the whole year. Can't forget the Patrick Mahomes toe and neck injury. I don't know how. Maybe he's at 90, 80%. Hopefully he's at 100% there. And I think that might be a little bit of an issue moving forward, but it's interesting. I think that Andy Reid's going to be able to pivot from this. And we didn't talk about that too, but we'll get to that. But I do think Andy Reid's going to be able to pivot from this because he's got the quarterback who can make the kind of plays. I think they're going to go to a game plan that gets the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands quick early on in this game and then try to open up things down the field. The one thing I'm a little bit worried about with the Chiefs offense too is running the ball. Like, are they going to try to pull a Buffalo Bills vibe here? Are they even going to try to run the ball? Because they do got a healthy Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We don't know if that's 100% true.
We don't know how much that really is. And there's been a lot of talk, too, because if you remember last year, the other running back for the Chiefs had, like, that crazy game. And I thought he should have won Super Bowl MVP. But
he balled out. Well, is it? I can't remember his first name. Is it Jamal Williams?
Wasn't it Darwin Thompson?
No, I thought it was he's the running back who held out from COVID this year at the beginning of the year.
Oliver Williams,
yeah, it's the other Williams. Yeah,
I think Darnell Williams is the running back now. The other
It's Damian Williams. Yeah,
Damian
Williams. Yeah, good call on that, chat. Lucas, appreciate that, and Kalen, appreciate that because he relatively didn't run that much throughout the year. And just balled out when it came time to really ball out.
Super Bowls be like that.
You know that as a Washington fan.
Yeah, Timmy Smith. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very interesting. So, this can go two different ways. Like, I personally think that Kansas City is going to have to be able to run the ball. I think that's going to be part of their game plan.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with you there because they just got the weapons to do what Buffalo tried to do.
Oh, for sure.
Which was, utilize the short passing game as the running game. I think the Chiefs could probably get away with doing that in this game.
And they love
the
those
Bucs
little
stop the run.
Jet sweeps.
They're really good, man. It's going to be hard to run. But the Bucs defense was number one rush defense throughout most of the year.
If you think about it like this, though, we're talking about the offensive line and the injuries. So when you have injuries on the offensive line. As an offensive lineman, it's a lot easier to run block than it is pass block. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
So I just think that in their game plan with that sort of, situation that has arisen, I think that, you got to rely on the run game some. And I feel like It'll be early on when you kind of get an idea. So like, I feel like Andy Reid does that a lot, where he kind of he likes to see the feel of the run game. So he'll run the ball, and if he feels like it's hot, then they're gonna run with it. You'll see a lot more of the run game throughout the game. But if he doesn't get that vibe that they're gonna be able to run the ball, they quickly go into that mode where it's like, all right, Patrick Mahomes, jet sweep, McCole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, screen, and then boom, bomb down the field. You know what I'm saying?
And Reid talked about that, about going with the hot hand with the running backs. And in the championship game, that's why he went with Williams, because he just felt like he was the hot hand over Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really no telling who's going to get the bulk of the carries, if there is even going to be a bulk of carries. I mean, I'm not even sure, but shout out to Sean T talking about RP to Sean Taylor, best safety in Madden for sure. And we're rocking two people that have, what do you call this? Posthumous?
Yeah.
Yeah, two of them, Jay Dilla and Sean Taylor. We didn't plan that. That just happened.
It just that a lot of things happen like that with Awthentik and The Beard.
That's left side, strong side.
Left side, strong side.
You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about this Chiefs offense a little bit more, man. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, man. These dudes, they've been on fire. I mean, coming out of the regular season and going into the playoffs. Let's just talk about some regular season numbers here, though. Both of them went over 1,200 yards, and they combined for 26 touchdowns as a unit. I mean, the Giants could definitely borrow a couple of those touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know,
and everybody in the NFC.
We only had 11 passing touchdowns, maybe a little more than that. I think Colt McCoy might have thrown one. And Tyreek Hill, man, he's been a maniac in the playoffs, man. In the 2 games, he got 17 receptions, 282 yards. He's averaging almost 17 yards per catch. Last week in AFC Championship, Travis Kelce also went off, 15 targets, 13 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill didn't score, but Travis Kelce seemed to be, taking the bulk there as far as the touchdowns go. And Tyreek Hill last week against the Bills in the championship game, or, last football week. I said I wasn't going to say that, De Beer, but I'm going to say it anyway. 11 targets, 9 catches, 172 yards. Now, if you go back and you go look at his 72-yard touchdown, or it was actually just short of a touchdown catch last game against the Bills, he made 7 defenders miss on 1 play.
I mean,
I don't think there's another wide receiver in the NFL that's that dynamic.
That's like running from the cops good. You know what I'm saying?
That's Tyreek Hill, yo. He's straight running from the Deans, man. Like, the dude is so fast. And he had a quote that he said, the camera went right to him after they had that 4th down ceiling catch that he made, that little short one. He said, "I told you to keep the camera on me, dog. The game ended when they needed me. That's why they pay me, bro." The dude is extra confident. I'm actually subscribed to him now on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel where he just runs routes and does races. He had a race against Terrell Owens, and this surprised me. Terrell Owens ran a 4.4.
Bro, let me tell you.
Now.
Terrell Owens is, look, you there's some people that just hate people. Like, they're just haters, right? Let's just be honest. Terrell Owens was... He was almost like he was ahead of his time. Like, he's DK Metcalf.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
No. DK Metcalf is a junior version of him.
Exactly. Yeah. But, he was very underrated, I think. And it's unfortunate that, his off-the-field antics or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But he is a guy who I think did have a little bit of that.
I mean, he was just he was a definition of a wide receiver diva. Yeah. But the dude was a freak of nature.
Yeah, I mean, top 3 wide receivers of all time. A lot of people don't want to put him in that category until they look at the statistics.
Big shout out to my man Topher. Hyphy Gold checking in from San Francisco. He got a reselling channel. I just got hip to him. So he's a new dude I just met in the reselling community. I appreciate you stopping through, brother. Hopefully you get off work in time for the game. Definitely go give my man a channel subscription.
I like that name,
sure.
Hyphy Gold. That's dope, bro. That's dope.
So it's, I mean, that's the weapons. That's all over the field.
Yeah, it's definitely all over the field, man. And as far as Tyreek Hill goes, it's going to be Jamal Dean and Carlton Davis who will likely have the responsibility of covering him, which is going to be tough. That Bucs secondary has struggled a bit this year. I feel like they kind of getting their act together here in the playoffs. Carlton Davis does lead the Bucs in interceptions. He has 4 on the year. But I think more of this defense, it's going to have to happen up front, if you ask me.
And Carlton Davis he's a really good corner, right? But he is better against the more physical wide receivers.
Yeah.
He is not as good against the speedsters as he is the big guys. So that's definitely something that in their first matchup, the Chiefs took advantage of. And if you notice what they did too is it's interesting you say that about up front, because it's almost like up front and in the back, those are going to be like the two biggest things, because you're going to rely on those guys up front to get the pressure on to kind of force those quick passes, right?
Yeah.
But in the back, that's really what it's going to come down to too. Those safeties are going to have to make big plays.
Yeah, they're going to need that help from the front, to be able to get some pressure on Patrick Mahomes so that they don't got to be covering these wide receivers for, over 3, 4, 5 seconds, because that's when it could get ugly. And I wanted to talk about Sean Murphy bunting at cornerback, man.
Yeah.
He has that record that he tied R.W. McQuarters in 2007. He's the first player to do this since then. He had an interception in each one of his playoff games. So 3 games back to back to back, he has an interception in each one. But this is the thing. He gave up the 6th most yards of any defender in the NFL this year. So the interceptions looks great, but he's going to have a better game as far as allowing yards to these wide receivers. And he's going up against no slouch here in Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. You got a healthy Sammy Watkins coming back for this game too. You got Mecole Hardman, the kid Robinson. I don't know. That's the one player I didn't look into if he's going to be back, because didn't Robinson? No, he didn't get hurt. I'm mixing him up with the returner for the Saints actually. So Robinson should be there in this game. They're going to have 5 healthy people that can take the top off of defenses.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers defense though has been really good. They lead the league in all playoff teams right now active with 7 takeaways, and they have 41 points off the takeaways. The biggest question for me is this defense going to be able to make Patrick Mahomes turn the ball over? And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't think so. Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to pull up these stats of him. I had to pull up some career stats and some season stats for Patrick Mahomes. Let me get these right.
Okay, while you do that, this is what has been on my mind, and I've been thinking about a lot, digging into this game. Has Patrick Mahomes ever had a completely bad game?
Yeah, I saw Shannon Sharp and what's my man, Skip Bayless. They was actually breaking that down, and Shannon Sharp said, man, he had to go through footage of 3 seasons to find a bad game. One game that they mentioned a game earlier on in his career. The one game that I remember that he had that wasn't a great game was against the Miami Dolphins, where he had the 3 interceptions. I think 2 of them. That was this year.
And then, but like in the end, he turned it on, and he ended up throwing like 4 touchdowns, 3 or 4 touchdowns in that game.
I think it was 3 touchdowns, and they ended up winning the game. And that was the debate that Skip and Shannon was having on their show, because Shannon was saying that Skip liked to give Tom Brady a pass. Like Tom Brady, you remember that? What's the stat you told me about Tom Brady in the first quarter?
So Tom Brady, in all 9 of his Super Bowls, has scored a total of 3 points in 9 Super Bowls in the first quarter.
Which is ridiculous. And Shannon Sharp was getting on Skip Bayless about this. He was saying, like, you'll let Tom Brady have a terrible first half like he did against the Atlanta Falcons, and he could come through in the clutch in the fourth quarter, and nobody will call that a bad game. But with Patrick Mahomes, seems to be that the rhetoric can be a little bit different. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has played in bad games. Even the playoff game, look at the game they were down to the Texans. They were down 24 in the championship game, and then you end up coming back. Patrick Mahomes has a terrible start to that game, but you got to have faith in the quarterback like that. Yeah,
because there was a one of those turnovers was like on the receiver, like he like just wasn't paying attention or something like that, like on the fumble, or just it was a lot that went on in that game. But you've talked about it before multiple times. The thing about Patrick Mahomes is on the sideline, in the players' ears, he has that it factor. Like, Tom Brady has it too, but Tom Brady's a little bit different in his method in communicating. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But Patrick Mahomes has that. You never, ever in his career, albeit a short career, have you ever thought, I don't know, they're kind of out of it? Like, never, right?
And I think the one time people thought that was that Texans game. People were like, this one's probably over. And then you get that speech from Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines. He's like, it just starts with one play. They're playing man-to-man coverage. We can beat them. And then, bam, you get touchdown. And they're back in the game. Now, let me bust down these numbers for you. On the year, Patrick Mahomes has 38 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And I wanted to speak to this ratio right here, because this ratio speaks to his career. This dude's career, I don't know anybody at the quarterback position who's ever started off like this. These numbers are ridiculous. 14,152 yards in how many seasons now? 3 seasons?
Yeah.
Does that even make sense?
That's almost 5,000 yards.
It's almost 5,000 yards a year, right? And then the touchdown interception ratio. He's thrown 114 touchdowns and only 24 interceptions.
That's insane.
Bro, that number right there is ridiculous.
There's probably nobody close.
Nobody
to that.
Nobody
in the
within
history
a 3 year
of the
span.
NFL.
Nobody is close to that. I mean, that 24 interceptions, and he only had 6 on this season. So that tells me that he's only going to get better at taking care of the ball. That stat to me was just crazy, man. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I had to like go fact check it on another site. Like, hold up, is Google tripping right now? Like, this don't even look right. And you got to credit a lot of that to his weapons. But I was talking to I'm trying to think who this was on Twitter the other day. I can't remember who it was.
You still got to make the play. You got to make the throw, though.
You definitely got to make the throws. And I related this back to Daniel Jones as the Giants fan and the Giants pride that I have. I related this to Daniel Jones. It's like, yeah, the kid don't got no weapons. But when you go out there and you throw 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, that's unacceptable. You got to blame some of that on the quarterback play. I don't care if they're throwing the ball to the Beard and Awthentik and Entertainer and Bad Dog. I don't care. Like, you got to be able to make plays from the quarterback position, be able to throw the ball downfield, and throw people open. And it seems like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes does have those targets. We know as New York Giants fans that we want that number one wide receiver who can really peel the cap off these defenses and be able to open up not only intermediate passing for our tight ends and our slot wide receiver in Sterling Shepard, but also be able to open up the run more. And Patrick Mahomes is doing this to a T. I mean, he's doing this to perfection. And I don't know, maybe they're benefiting from each other. I don't know if this is the wide receiver core and tight end and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce are making Patrick Mahomes be a better quarterback. I don't know, but them numbers are just out of this world. I mean, those numbers are just ridiculous.
Like, literally, like, out of this world. Like, and that's what's pretty crazy is that, like, that's the question. They need a turnover.
Yeah.
Can
they need to get pressure. Like, when you think about Patrick Mahomes, you don't think about him under duress. You don't think about that guy running for his life. He's the kind of quarterback that can make one move in the pocket and no one's near him.
Yeah, I mean, he could throw the ball without looking where he's throwing. I mean, like, that's not fair, but he can do it.
Yeah, one of the national analysts, I forget who it was saying, yeah, they got the best shortstop to go and play quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs because he's looking like he's getting one-hop baseballs and just throwing them at home plate from center field. Like, the dude can throw off balance like no quarterback I've ever seen. And shout out to Aaron Rodgers, who he can throw off balance very well. But, like, Patrick Mahomes can throw off balance, and it looks like he's putting his legs into the throw. I think it's undeniable who has the strongest arm in the NFL, and I think it's Patrick Mahomes by a long shot.
Ooh, that's an interesting debate for an episode for sure. Yeah. I mean, so let me ask you this really quickly because when you say that, it brought to my attention like something that I've been thinking about, like doing a lot of this draft prep, and so when you're looking at a quarterback, right? To you, if you were forced to have to pick one trait or one thing that you think makes a quarterback, like separates him.
Yeah.
What would it be? Like arm strength,
I'm gonna go accuracy,
or
because
decision making.
At the NFL level, there's not many people that don't have arm strength.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think about what was his name, Chad Pennington.
Yes.
When you think about him, right, he's one of the guys in the NFL who only had a weak arm. He's the only person I can really remember that got by as a starting quarterback for a little while and had a weak arm. Like, literally couldn't throw the ball probably 45 yards down the field.
Yeah, I think accuracy definitely has to do with it, being one of the top things I'm looking at in a quarterback. But I think also it has to. There's a lot of mental stuff that goes into being a quarterback. Like, you have to have a certain level of mentality to be. Not even just to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but to be a great, even a good starting quarterback in the NFL. Yeah. And there's that's what goes on obviously a lot of different levels. One being, okay, mentally, like, you have to be able to make the right decisions, right? And read defenses to a certain, like, that's what makes Tom Brady so good is Tom Brady is reading, his pre-snap reads are insane, and we know that. The same thing with newly inducted Hall of Fame Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah.
Like those pre-snap reads are so important. And then mentally, like, being able to take the beating mentally as a quarterback. You know, like if you go, like that's what Patrick Mahomes has. He goes out there and throws those 3 interceptions in that Miami game. But what does he do? He comes back out and he throws 3 touchdowns.
Leads his team to a victory.
He's down, you know,
I'll
whatever
take this
it was.
To shout out Eli Manning too. You know?
Yeah, Eli Manning for sure.
Go back and look at Eli Manning in the San Francisco 49ers game in that last playoff run that he had. Ridiculous. Just taking crazy shots, crazy hits, getting right back up. There was one play where his chin strap was over his eyes after getting tackled in the pocket and making a throw on the sideline to Ahmad Bradshaw. You know, so I do think that you need that trait in the NFL. I see old school Flips talking about pocket presence is high on his list. I think pocket presence, leave that Kalen Dragon one up too, because I want to get to that too. I think pocket presence, you know, if you have a good offensive line, then your pocket presence doesn't have to be that great. But when you see a quarterback struggling, then you need to have even a higher intensity of pocket presence. We're seeing that in New York right now with a struggling offensive line. Tom Brady, who's never been that mobile, but definitely has great pocket presence. You know, he knows how to step up in the pocket. I think a lot of that has to do with just trust. You know, like if you trust your teammates and you trust them to do their job, where in Tom Brady's case, he's not trusting them to do their job. He's forcing them to do their job. With what Kalen Dragon said about a lot of Bills Mafia is going to be arguing the fact that Josh Allen might have the strongest arm. Look, I said this on our last podcast. The thing about Josh Allen, he doesn't try to squeeze it in the tight windows and put that dart, that zip on the ball. I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this. Tom Brady has more zip on his pass than Josh Allen today at age 43. So I don't, and I'll say the same thing for Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't really have to squeeze it into small windows. So now when you're talking about strongest arm, we're talking about down the field. I need accuracy to be involved in that, because if you can throw the ball 70 yards at the combine,
it don't mean nothing if it don't go to the receiver.
Right, you know, so this year I saw a regression in Stephon Diggs as far as average yards per catch when playing with Josh Allen as his quarterback, in conjunction to when he had Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. You know, he was averaging 6 more yards per catch when he had Kirk Cousins. So to me, that says that deep passes down the field, Josh Allen's either not throwing them or not accurate at them. So I can't put him in the ballpark as far as strongest arms. We see Patrick Mahomes week in, week out throwing the ball 60 yards down the field to Tyreek Hill, catching the ball in these crazy rollouts. So I got to give it to Patrick Mahomes at this moment, and he's very young. He's only going to get stronger if he continues to lift weights.
You know, the one thing I have heard a lot of people bring up this week is in that Tampa Bay game and Kansas City game earlier in the season, there's a play where he missed McCole Hardman wide open in the middle of the field for like a 70-yard touchdown pass. But it's like the only, you know, it's like that's how crazy it is to have to nitpick Patrick Mahomes. It's like that's the one play that, you know, you
And when
remember.
you got a lot going good for you, people not going to go dig up what's bad on you. You know, like the Giants fans that went out there and created the highlight reel or the low light reel of Evan Ingram, you know, with all his drops and all that. If he had like, let's say, Robert Tonyan type touchdowns this season, you wouldn't have saw that. Nobody would have dug that up, you know. But because he's slumming, only had 1 touchdown on the year, they're like, oh, well, we're going to dig this up.
Was it really only 1 touchdown?
He only had 1 touchdown, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember him having a lot of catches that got stopped down at the 1-yard line. He was getting caught this year. But, you know, with Patrick Mahomes, he has so much good going on, it outweighs anything bad. So people aren't going and looking up tape on Patrick Mahomes to see what mistakes he's making, you know, like they're doing with Daniel Jones right now, or doing with guys like Dwayne Haskins at the beginning of the year and other quarterbacks in the Washington football team situation. You know, when you're playing bad, they're going to dig up what's bad on you, you know. People going to try to find that dirt on you. But I just think, you know, as far as the arm strength goes, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is just miles ahead of a lot of these quarterbacks right now, man. And off balance. Can do it off balance.
Oh, my God. He makes the throws that, like, you know, are the 3-pointers that you're like, no, don't take that. And then they make it and you're like, yes.
That's like yeah. I can remember them times when I was a kid at St. John's, man. Like, coaches would be like, nah, don't take that shot. And then it dropped. They'd be like, oh. Good shot, kid. Good shot, kid. Yeah, you know them vibes, man. You know them vibes.
I was watching this clip of this pickup game. It was Ben Simmons, KD, and LeBron James, and a bunch of other people. And like, bruh, watching them play in a pickup style game, it's insane.
Oh yeah, and you really get to see the skill set, because there's something about watching like professional sports, right? Like you see it on TV and they're surrounded by the best talent. And you know, when you get to see it in a street vibe, like I don't know if you remember the footage of Kobe when he went to Rucker. Dog. He laced up some white Air Force Ones and was dogging. And it's more of a one-on-one style of game. You're not playing this team type of basketball. You know, so I like when I see players like that get to go out and like play pickup games, it reminds me of when Michael Jordan was filming for Space Jam. You know, they had a lot of pickup games with Charles Barkley, Larry Johnson, and all them, man. And them dudes was balling out. And LeBron James, man, Yo, shout out to LeBron James.
He didn't miss it. He didn't miss a shot in the pickup game.
Dog, did you get to see him last night? They went to triple overtime, I want to say, in the Lakers game. Shout out to Bad Dog, who was doing the broadcast. It actually made me pull up the game, man. Yo, LeBron is just different. He just a whole.
He might be having his best year ever.
Right, man. And people still not trying to give him that MVP kind of vibe because you get a guy the MVP so many times. Now you just be like, all right, dog, like. We know you great. We don't want to give you the MVP now. We're looking for another guy to beat you out. But, man, LeBron James is just on a whole nother level. And it was a shooter for the Detroit Pistons. I can't remember homie's name. I don't want to butcher it. I ain't been watching a lot of basketball yet. But he was, from the three, man, he was lights out. He was like 7 of 9 from three-pointer. He kept him in the game. And Anthony Davis was having a really good game, too, but went to triple overtime. Lakers ended up taking care of business, man. So shout out LeBron James, representing for all these OGs out here.
I was watching the Dallas and Golden State.
Oh, how'd that game end?
Luka and Steph Curry were going back and forth.
I did see your tweet. They combined for how many points?
99 points.
99 points from two players. Ridiculous. Steph Curry's in that MVP discussion as well.
Okay, one more. I'll throw y'all another dark horse MVP guy because I've been, kind of.
Bradley Beal?
No. Well, Bradley Beal, I mean, the dude is he's amazing. Like
he's balling.
He is absolutely phenomenal. But the Joker, Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets, the dude is. He is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, he's a baller, man. The one thing with him is he can't turn it on in the playoffs like I want. You know what I mean? It reminds me of James Harden in that kind of asset.
Yeah, and he is still kind of fairly NBA young.
Yeah,
obviously he has some international experience, but he's another dude to keep an eye on as far as MVP goes. So speaking of MVP, can I ask you, do you have some MVP favorites in the Super Bowl?
Oh, Super Bowl MVP.
Yes.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I just broke down. I broke down the 114 touchdowns, 24 interceptions, 6 on the year, 38 touchdowns. I'm going Pat Mahomes all the way.
Okay, so let's do this because I know that I was looking at it. I think it was 14 of the last 25 MVPs, Super Bowl MVPs, have been quarterbacks.
13 of the last 25?
14 of the last 25 MVPs have been quarterbacks. 25.
Okay.
Yeah. There's been a couple of defensive players sprinkled in there, maybe like 1 or 2 receivers and a couple running backs maybe.
Yeah.
It's super difficult for a wide receiver to be an MVP in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order for them to be, to put up those numbers, they're probably going to give it to the quarterback, right?
Yeah, because quarterback's going to be throwing in the ball. You would need a lot of, reverses, some short hitches maybe.
Exactly. So this is why I didn't make the bet on this, but I should have. And I will tell you who I put my bets on for MVP right after this. But Mecole Hardman, I tweeted this out. Mecole Hardman is a sleeper pick for MVP because he touches the ball more ways than other skilled player positions because he returns kicks, he returns punts, and he has had a carry in each of the last 7 games, I believe, for Kansas City, and he's broken a lot of those off. So it's like, if he compiled, let's say, 200 yards of total, scrimmage yards, whether it be from kick returns, punt returns, running the ball, catching the ball, and scores a touchdown, him being MVP is definitely not out of the realm.
He'd have to have a lights out game, and I would like to maybe try to turn back and see when he's had a game like that. Has he ever had it? Has he had a game this season over 180 scrimmage yards? Probably not.
Probably not. But
because he has had a bit of a down year as far as the big plays go.
Yeah, it is the Super Bowl, so it's like there's those guys that make those plays where it's like they come out of nowhere and they have those big games, which is kind of crazy. So I bet, let me see real quick who I bet to win the MVP. I think it was, I put it all the way here at the end. Okay, so I put money on Clyde Edwards-Helaire to win MVP. Okay. Because it's a lot. I for my betting, I did all my prop bets. I did a lot of, small bets just to make it. So I got Super Bowl squares, I got DraftKings, I got prop bets, I got everything. I'm turning up for the Super Bowl. So he was plus 3,000 to win the MVP.
Yeah.
So basically, I put $10 on Clyde Edwards-Helaire to win MVP. So if he wins MVP, that pays out $310.
Oh, that'd be a nice one, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I don't think you're gonna get that money on that one.
Okay, what about Travis Kelce?
That's a possibility.
Now,
I mean,
he was
if you look
plus
at
800.
the championship game, I feel like he was the MVP of that game with the 2 touchdowns against the Bills. You know, I think he can put up those kind of numbers. It all depends on what happens in the red zone with the Chiefs and if he can score and put up those touchdowns. Because I think he's the one player that is bound to have a big game.
Yeah, for sure. So there's for those of you that don't know, there's literally thousands of prop bets that you can make.
Oh, Greer says he got 2,000 on the coin toss. That's what's up. What'd you
So-
pick? Tails never fails, bro.
Tails never fails. Yeah.
Watch it fail today.
There's a whole bunch of those. So like, you know, the national anthem, they always do what the over under on the national anthem. But for a lot of
What
those,
time-wise?
yeah, time wise.
Yeah.
So like 5 minutes is or whatever for the national anthem, and it's a lot of those bets weren't available in America. You had to make those bets offshore betting. And so because like Josie's mom wanted me to bet on the Gatorade dump,
Oh, yeah.
the lime or yellow. It was like, you know, I think
she was picking lime or yellow. Yeah.
yeah,
you
and
told
so
me
like
about
when I went to go place my bets, it wasn't on the book. I was like, what's cool? I had to wave the guy over. I'm like, hey, where's the Gatorade bet? Like, I don't want to look like an idiot.
Right.
But I'm like, hey, where's the Gatorade bet? He's like, they took it off. I'm like, what do you mean they took it off? Like, it's crazy. But I'll run through real quickly my bets, and we're gonna get the authentic, because you have to remember, like, a lot of these bets I picked because I want them to be, you know, they're small risk, high rewards.
it. Like a lot of the bets you do. I know how you do.
You know, like, I ain't one of these guys to be like, all right, I'm gonna put $3,000 on one thing to happen. You know,
Yeah.
I like to spread my money out and see, you know, play. Plus, I just bought an engagement ring, so it's like I couldn't, you know, go down to the betting
The way
window.
my my savings account is set
Yeah,
up with my
you know what I'm
checking.
saying? I'm going to be
The checking going
real
to the
honest with
savings.
y'all. All right. So I gave you guys my MVP bets. All right, here we go, Authentic.
So you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the MVP, and you had
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. You didn't put one on Mecole Hardman.
No, I did
Okay,
not.
smart move.
Yeah, so. All right, so player to score first points.
Yeah, you told me about this one.
I did a couple. So Patrick Mahomes
did
to
a
score
couple.
the first point. So that would be obviously rushing. He would
It
have
has to be rushing.
Yeah,
I don't
because
like that.
yeah,
I don't like that.
That's the bet that I won last Super Bowl that I won on
I
the
don't
money
like
on.
that one.
So I put $5 on to win 85. You know,
Especially with how you got smacked in the
I know.
the first playoff game. So
I know. So the other one was I had the big Mike Evans. Mike Evans is I doubled down on Mike Evans, okay?
Yeah.
So I did $10 Mike Evans to be the player to score the first points. So that means if they kick a field goal, this bet is off.
Right.
But that's $10 to win 150.
You and you can pick the field goal kicker in that bet, right?
Yes, you can. Now, I doubled down by picking Mike Evans to be the first player to score a touchdown. So if there's no field goals and Mike Evans scores a touchdown first
Yeah.
thing that happens, that'll be $190 on a $15 worth of
I
bets.
know exactly what you didn't take into consideration when you made that bet. That stat you told me about Tom Brady only scoring 3 points
I didn't.
in all of. I know
I
you
heard.
didn't.
I heard the stat literally in the car.
Oh, you was blown.
After I got out of the sports book.
Maybe it's like some reverse psychology. It might work in your
And
favor.
that's the
We'll
thing.
see.
That's how I always look at things. Like, okay, something has to happen. At some point, nothing had happened before it happens for the first time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Mike
that's facts.
Evans has been on a tear catching
I like that
their
reasoning.
You know, like that's the way I look at
He
it.
said, trying
right.
to get them coins.
Next bet. Both teams score in every quarter.
Both teams have to score at least
In
a field goal or safety in every quarter.
In every quarter.
It's not terrible. I don't
Fi-
think the Bucks will score in every quarter.
And I didn't get good odds on that. It's $5 to win $21.
Oh, nah, I don't like that bet at all.
Yeah.
Crumble that one up. That's a wrap for you.
All right. Next bet. $10 that there will be a successful 2-point conversion.
Oh, you put 10 down.
Yes.
And what can you win for that?
$31.
It's not bad, but I don't like the money. Yeah, I don't like the money.
But I had to throw a couple of these small ones in. Okay,
yeah, I feel you. I'm a little bit. I'm like in the middle of that bet.
In the middle.
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
in
middle.
the middle of that.
Okay.
Bet. Now I don't hate it. I don't love it.
You're pushing.
Yeah, I'm pushing.
All right.
I
I took Tampa Bay +3.
Tampa. Okay.
So
It kind of tells me who you're gonna pick.
Yeah.
And yeah. Pick
First,
Tampa +3.
Okay, this is another. These are the bets I really like. These. Okay, so I'm gonna save these two when I make my pick. I'm gonna save these two for when I make my pick. Okay, this one's interesting. Tom Brady has the most passing yards, and Tyreek Hill has the most receiving yards.
Is this facts right now, Kalen Dragon?
Yeah, Derrick Rose got traded to the Knicks earlier today.
That's interesting. Okay, Knicks have been playing pretty good ball. That's what's up.
RJ Barrett. He's stepping
balling.
up. Yeah. So Tom Brady is your leading passing yardage, and Tyreek Hill is your leading receiving yards.
Okay, so that's your bet right there. And how much is that one? How much was it?
$5 to win 45.
I like that one. So Tom Brady to lead passing yards and Tyreek Hill to lead receiving yards.
Yes.
I like that one. That's the first bet I'm full-fledged I love.
Okay, now this one is like a parlay.
Okay.
So it's Tampa
And I
Bay.
think that's a good time to plug our Sunday show one time.
Yeah,
so
the parlay.
if you don't know about the parlay and you've been just tuning in to Awthentik and The Beard during the playoffs, we do a Sunday show fantasy vibes called The Parlay. It's on at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. We got to get back to that, but y'all know fantasy football has been kind of out the way here.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff for everybody for fantasy football. So, we'll be doing some fantasy football mock drafts, players to look out for, who to draft, sleepers, bust, overrated. You're going to get all of that during the offseason here at Awthentik and The Beard. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up.
Don't
all
forget.
Right. This is like a 3-part parlay. So, Tampa Bay +3.5.
Okay.
Under 56.5.
Total, okay.
And Kansas City has the last possession of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I like that with Tampa. If Tampa Bay could win this game, then that would leave Kansas City probably. Oh, but then you know what you got to worry about is Tampa Bay getting the ball and kneeling it out.
Yeah.
If they win. So I kind of like that bet. Not as good as the last one, but I like that bet a little bit.
Yeah, and that's $10 to win $65.
10 to win 65. Oh, yeah, the money's good on that one.
And then the last one, well, obviously I'm going to save the other ones for when I give you guys my pick. The last one, though, is Cameron Brate to be the first person to score points. That was a $5 bet to win $145.
I'm digging that.
So those are my prop bets right there. And then I'll give you guys the last three when we make our picks.
Well, we about to make them.
Making our picks here.
I don't got much more to cover in this game.
Well, I did want to ask, Awthentik in the chat a couple of what they think will happen on some of these players. Okay? So everybody in the chat, tell us your answers when Awthentik gives me his answer.
Okay, sounds good. Let's
All
get
right?
it. Let's
so we're
get
going to run through these really fast. Will Patrick Mahomes have a rushing touchdown?
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
No rushing touchdown from Patrick Mahomes.
No rushing touchdown for Patrick Mahomes. Going to keep him out the way today. Got to make sure he's healthy. Probably won't see a lot of design quarterback runs, but you never know. With Patrick Mahomes, he might sneak out of the pocket and try to run for one. We'll see.
Yeah, you never know, right? Like down there at the goal line, I got a mixture here of no's and yeses.
Yeah, I see Jerry Maguire says yes. My man Lucas in the building one time. Bobby, what's up, Bobby? How you living,
Bobby!
man? Bobby in the building one time.
All right.
Bobby says yes.
So
Bobby, I got another cat in here, man. You need to adopt another cat. I'll send him your way, man. You need
So
the home.
more yeses than no's in the chat on that one.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
didn't even see a no, dude. Is there a no?
I
Oh,
saw
yeah,
a
one
couple
no
no's.
from Kalen and one no from Kyle Key. Mac, the Giants fan, says no. Okay, yeah, so they on my side on that one.
Interesting. All right. So then we'll go to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Okay. Rushing attempts over or under 10.5.
Wow, that's a tough one.
You see how they get you?
I'm going to go, yeah, this like the Vegas stuff. You know, they know something we don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, he'll get over 10 carries.
Oh, well, it has to be over. It's 10.5, so it has to be 11
Yeah,
carries.
he'll get over 10.
He'll get
11
over.
carries.
He'll get 11 carries.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody says over in there too.
Yeah, I'm going over.
Couple unders from Ocean Blue.
I like this segment, by the way. This is dope. I'm going over.
All right. Rushing yards from Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Okay.
Over or under 45.5.
See, they got you with that number too. So let's say he gets 12 carries I'm going to say he gets about 12 carries. He'll probably average about maybe like 3.5. A lot of people in the chat going over. I'm going to go under. I want to keep record of these, so hold on. I want to keep record of these.
So you got Patrick Mahomes with no rushing touchdown. You had CEH over 10.5 rushing attempts. And you said over 45.5 rushing yards.
Under. Everyone says over. I'm going under.
Authentic going against the grain.
Under 45, over 10 carries.
Yes.
All right, let's keep it pushing.
Okay. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, over or under 2.5 receptions.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm going to go ahead and take the under.
Under 2.5. So
Yeah.
2 catches, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to throw you a wrench now. Darrell Williams, rushing attempts over or under 9.5?
Under.
Under.
Yeah. Under 9.5 attempts, right?
Yeah. Chat's mixed on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go under.
Under, huh? Okay, so rushing yards, Darrell Williams, over or under 40.5?
Under.
Under. Shout out to Ramon Baez for the $4.99 super chat. Says, my bro, Authentic, keep holding it down for Big Blue Nation.
You already know what it is, man. Giants Nation in the building. Shout out my homie Ramon one time.
Okay, so let's see where we're going to go next. All right, here we go. This is a good one for you. Will Darrell Williams score a touchdown?
No.
No. No touchdown.
He's going to score one, watch. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say if a running back scores, it's going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Next one. We're going to move on to receivers.
All right.
Receptions for Tyreek Hill. Over or under 7?
Over.
Over 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one's crazy. This is a tough one.
All right.
Tyreek Hill receiving yards. Over or under 102.5?
Over.
Over. We're going over 102 yards. So Tyreek Hill is about to have a killer game according to Authentic.
Over 102 receiving yards. You see these last 2 games he just had? He was like putting up damn near 200 yards.
Kyle said he said over before you even gave him the number.
I was thinking over too. I'm like, Tyreek Hill, over or under? Over. I don't care if you said 350.
Everybody in the chat says over. They said that's the easy
Over.
one.
That one's easy. You said it was tough too. That was easy.
Okay, so I'll give you one more Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
Okay. Longest reception, over or under 34.5 yards?
Over. 34 yards, you said, right?
Yep. All right, so I'm going to give you a tight end one here. We're going to go to Travis Kelce, and then we'll probably move over to some Tampa Bay. Okay? Travis Kelce receptions, over or under 8.5?
I'm going to go ahead and take the under on that one. Yeah, I'll take the under.
Okay. Travis Kelce receiving yards, over or under 105.5?
Over 105 yards?
Yeah.
I'll go under.
It's going to be interesting. Okay, here's a good one. We're going to go real one. Sammy Watkins
All right.
will or will not score a touchdown?
Will not.
No Sammy Watkins touchdown.
No touchdown.
All right. Let's see. We'll give you some Mike Evans really fast. Okay, all right. This is tough because I know Authentic was asking me about Tampa Bay running backs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's do this then. Ronald Jones. Ooh, his are his receiving yards. Ronald Jones rushing yards, over or under 43.5?
Wow, that's right on the cusp. I'm going to go over.
Over. Interesting. So then we'll do this. Leonard Fournette over or under 43.5 rushing yards.
Under.
Under. So you think Ronald Jones has the bigger game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was like that last week.
Maybe.
Take a look.
Take a look.
Give me the next one.
Okay. Leonard Fournette receiving yards over or under 22.5.
Go under.
Under. This is going to be so much fun on Tuesday to recap these. Because Awthentik might be sitting here like, non-betting, hitting gold.
Yeah, I know. I know.
All right, Mike Evans, receptions over or under 4.5?
Over.
Over. That's crazy. I can't. You see how they set Tyreek Hill at 7 and Mike Evans at 4.5? That's wild. Okay, receiving yards, Mike Evans over or under 60.
Why do they say over 4.5? Why don't they just say over 4?
Because it's so that if he gets 4 catches, then it's not a push. You lose.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Shiesty.
We don't make the rules. We just follow them here in Vegas.
Yo.
Mike Evans receiving yards over or under 67.5.
Wow, actually, man, I must have been mistaken with the game before this game. Ronald Jones in the last game against the Packers had 10 carries for 16 yards. Leonard Fournette had 12 carries for 55 yards. Ooh, maybe we're going to switch that. Maybe we're going to switch that.
We're going to switch what? Leonard Fournette?
Ronald Jones over 43.5 yards. I'm going to say under, actually. And then Leonard Fournette will be the one who goes over 43.5. So I'm just going to flip-flop those.
Man, the chat's loving this, too. There's a lot of people going overs and unders right now. Okay, so back to Mike Evans.
All right.
67.5 receiving yards. Over or under?
I'm going to say under.
What?
You don't
Really?
like that. You don't like that.
I want to know where the receiving yards are going to be coming. Then we're going to just jump right to Chris Godwin. Okay, Chris Godwin receiving yards over or under 74.5.
Under.
So who's catching the ball for Tampa Bay?
See where I'm going with this, right?
What, do I go to Rob Gronkowski?
What was it? 70 what?
74.5.
No, don't go to Rob Gronkowski. I think that, the Bucs are going to struggle to throw the ball today.
Okay, well, all right. So let's go to, this is crazy. Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, Kyle Key what's up. AB for 150.
Receiving yards for Gronkowski over or under 28.5.
Gronk, 28.5. I'm going to say under.
Under?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Antonio Brown then. Over or under 4 receptions?
That's tough. AB over under 4. I think he'll get 4.
You have to go over or under, bro. This is enough.
I think he's going to get 4, man. That's a tough one. I'll go over.
Okay.
I'll go over 4.
Antonio Brown receiving yards. Over or under 43.5?
Over.
There it is. All right. I'll give you one. You want Scotty Miller? You want receiving yards or do you want receptions?
Receptions.
Over or under 1.5?
Over.
Okay.
All right. Got him. Let's get him.
That's over and under brought to you by Awthentik and The Beard.
That's fire. That's fire. We'll see, Nate. We'll see. I already know who Nate's rooting for. I could tell by the lingo in his chat who he's rooting for in this game. He's rooting for the Bucs. It's like, man, I don't know, man. Patrick Mahomes been struggling, bro. We gonna see, bro. We gonna see.
Oh, man.
All right, so picks are in. I just got word in my headset. Picks are in.
Picks are in. The picks are in. Picks are in.
Wow, man.
Kyle Key says, new segment. I like it.
I love it. That was great. We definitely got to make that a new segment. That was fire. All right, man. I'm still trying to get a little bit more time to think about this.
Okay,
pick.
so you want me to go ahead and start?
Go ahead and start it, man.
Okay, so I'm going to start with this. I will be honest with you. This has been the toughest Super Bowl matchup for me to pick in recent years. And I told you guys earlier in the beginning of the show because I just typically would not bet against either one of these quarterbacks. I think this is going to be a great football game. I think it's going to go back and forth the entire game. Now, initially, I have wanted to pick each of these teams. I've gone back and forth the entire time. Eric Fisher being hurt for Kansas City worries me a bit. And I think that Tampa Bay's defense is built to play against Kansas City. But that being said, Antonio Winfield and Whitehead being a little banged up worries me a bit.
Winfield,
what did I say?
Antoine.
I'm all over the place. Okay, Winfield and
Shout
Whitehead.
out to your guy Chase Young too. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
A lot of people were saying Antoine Winfield
or Jeremy Chin. The hate was real.
Yeah.
I was.
It's weird because I kind of get both sides of the coin. I mean, Chase Young is a bit overhyped. He is a bit overhyped, but he's a great player as well.
Yeah. He's a game changer.
Tends to happen to young, great players. You
yeah,
know?
He's a game changer, So, and they play different positions. It's when you're looking at Defensive Player of the Year, or rookie, either or. It's very difficult to measure against the different positions, because the way that they impact that side of the football, it varies vastly. So it's a difficult thing to judge. Now, I think the game's going to go back and forth. I really wanted to pick Tampa Bay. I did but every time I had something that made me feel good about picking them, Kansas City has something that made me feel like, okay, they can counteract what Tampa Bay does well.
Yeah.
So in the end, I am going to take Kansas City, but like I said, I did take Tampa Bay to cover the spread of 3 points. So. And at first, I was along the lines of a 31-29 game. That's where I was gonna go, but I kind of come back down to earth, and I think it's gonna be more. I think I'm gonna go with 29 to 27. So I'm gonna go Kansas City 29, Tampa Bay 27. So the other bets that I was going to give you guys before that I didn't want to give away was, so the first half and game winner. So I picked that Tampa Bay would have the lead at halftime and Kansas City would end up winning. $10 to win $50 on that bet. Then I picked first half winner, game winner, tied at halftime and Kansas City wins. That was a $10 bet to win $130. So if it's tied at half and Kansas City wins, that's $130.
Ooh.
And then
are we splitting the proceeds with Awthentik and The Beard?
And then the last one was, I don't know what this bet was, but it was $5 to win $18.75. Tampa Bay scores first, but Kansas City wins.
Tampa Bay scores first, but Kansas City wins.
So I got a lot riding on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay better win the coin toss.
Yeah, try to get
the
some
ball
points early
and drive down the field. I think that, we brought up that whole point about Tom Brady and him not scoring a touchdown in any Super Bowl he's ever played in. I think he knows that. I think Tom Brady's one of those guys that knows things.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, I'm going to be building my legacy. I got to change it. And I think that this is important for Tampa Bay in general because everybody knows you can't kick field goals against Kansas City. And you saw Tampa Bay go down early to Kansas City in their first matchup. And you've seen Tampa Bay go on this streak where they've been playing a lot better early, especially during the playoff run. So I think you see Tampa Bay go out there swinging. I think it's the heavyweight fight. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth. And speaking of fight, I did want to say rest in peace to Spinks, who passed away.
He just passed?
Yeah, just
Dang,
passed.
I didn't even hear about that. Wow.
So rest in peace to him. But yeah, it's going to be a heavyweight fight.
Michael Spinks, he was a dog.
Yeah.
And his son, too, Corey Spinks, was good for a little while, too, man. Damn, rest in peace to him.
So I think that's going to be an interesting battle. But I do think in the end, Kansas City is going to, but it wouldn't surprise me if Tampa Bay wins. Like, this is insane. Like, and I don't know who to root for because I'm not a Tom Brady hater. I think it would be awesome to kind of see Tom Brady do, what Peyton Manning just basically one of the things that got him into the Hall of Fame. Obviously, he's a Hall of Fame no matter what, but he's the only quarterback, I believe, to win a championship with 2 teams.
Oh, yeah, to be able to win a Super Bowl with 2 teams.
Yeah, and so, and for Tom Brady to do it in both leagues, like both, NFC, AFC.
Both conferences.
Both conferences. And there's a lot of storylines.
Or Leon Spinks. I said Michael Spinks. My bad on that, Matt.
And I love... I am a big fan of Bruce Arians. I know a lot of people, he's not a lot of people's cup of tea, but I like Bruce Arians. And I think what Bruce Arians has done for the National Football League as far as, diversity with, bringing in, people on his coaching staff, black, brown, women, male, those sort of things are it's a big problem in the National Football League. And I think everybody on his coaching staff is non-white and a female. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
And they're doing great jobs. I'm a big Byron Leftwich guy. I love Todd Bowles. These are guys that, I watched, playing growing up. And it's just to kind of see that right now, there's storylines there. On the other side, Andy Reid, Andy Reid is probably now he's getting a little bit more recognition, but he's one of the most underrated head coaches of all time.
Yeah, for a while there, for sure.
Eric Bieniemy. And you love to see Patrick Holmes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. It's just, there's a lot going on in this game, and it's hard to pick a side. It's easy for people who hate Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's easy if you're a Tampa Bay fan. Shout out to Muhammad and Hawk. You know what I'm saying?
People who do love Tom Brady and Tampa Bay.
Exactly.
Track actually went down to Tampa Bay to go see this game.
That's wild.
Oh, and I got a little trivia for you.
Okay.
Giants played a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. Do you know what Super Bowl it was?
Bill Parcells Super Bowl?
You got to tell me which one.
I can't. I'm bad. I suck at Roman numerals.
1991, man.
Is that the Phil Simms one?
That's the one where Phil Simms got hurt, I want to say, and then came back.
And won the MVP?
Yeah, and then he was like, I'm going to Disney World. I think that was 91.
I have that Super Bowl program.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kalen got it wide right. Yep, that was the one that was in Tampa for sure.
I thought so.
Yep.
And the other thing is, I was just probably wasn't going to say.
You was talking about Bruce Arians for a little bit.
And then
he went to Andy Reid being unsung and underrated.
And Tampa Bay, Kansas City. I'm just, look. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. So the crazy thing is, the game is in Tampa Bay, but Kansas City is the home team.
Yeah.
So, in Tampa Bay, they normally shoot the cannons off when they score. Like, they have the giant pirate ship. Yeah. And they do that.
Yeah.
They shoot the cannons. There was some debate going on if they were going to be allowed to do it when they scored, since technically they weren't the home team.
That's crazy. They should allow both teams to do whatever kind of vibe they want to do like that for the touchdown.
So
Max says 91 was Jeff Hostetler. I was a little bit confused on that one.
So I don't know if that was what the final decision was, if they're going to be able to shoot the cannons off. Bro. So it's interesting. But I thought that was an interesting little concept. There's so much going on in this game. Like, this is the first time a team has played in their home stadium, and there's COVID. So it's just like, I forgot to ask everybody, Weekend is performing at halftime, but we're going to get a little petition together to get Awthentik.
You were talking about this.
To perform at halftime at the next Super Bowl. If you guys haven't, make sure you check out Awthentik, Bandcamp, all streaming services.
Yeah, they're gonna have to come with a better bag, because I heard they don't pay artists for the Super Bowl performances and whatnot. And they said that The Weeknd came out of pocket $6 million to enhance his performance, which a guy like that, I'm sure $6 million just laying around somewhere in the bedroom in his sock drawer, So
it says that they're not going to be allowed to fire the cannon.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. So let me get some cannons off, because I don't got them scoring too many touchdowns in this game. So let me get to this pick one time here. All right. So Chiefs defense has been playing very well as of late. They've been able to get pressure with their front four, which we all know that was the recipe for the Giants to beat the Patriots with Tom Brady at the helm in 2007. I think that's going to be a major factor in this game. When I pin these two teams up against each other, I like the defensive matchup with the Bucs. Not necessarily the matchup, but I just think the Bucs have the better defense of the two here, but they're going up against a way more high-powered offense. We saw them kind of struggle against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in a game where Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions, a game that was still pretty close there to the end. Devin White came up with 15 tackles in that game against Green Bay. It's the most in playoff history for the Bucs. But the Bucs have the 5th highest blitz rate in the NFL. So I think that their game plan is going to be the same or some of the same. They're going to try to send blitz to get to Patrick Mahomes. And I just don't think it's going to work. And I know everybody's been preaching pretty much going into this game that this is going to be a close game and, it should be back and forth. I think the Chiefs are going to blow them out.
Really?
I think the Chiefs are going to blow them out. I'm going to pick the Chiefs here. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I think they're going to cruise to victory in the fourth quarter. I think it's going to be, I'm going to go 34-20. Wow. And I think what's going to end up happening here is if you look at some of the Chiefs games, in the playoffs here, the one against the Bills, especially, I think the Bills got up 9-0, right? Mm-hmm. And they didn't capitalize on that. The Chiefs have had pretty slow starts, in the playoffs and towards rounding out the end of the season. And I just think, man, this is Super Bowl time here. The one thing that kind of makes their game plan a little bit cloudy is that situation that happened with Andy Reid, his son, with the car accident that put the 5-year-old girl in the hospital who's like on life support or, she's on a ventilator or something like that right now. So prayers out to her. I think her name is Ariel. They say that alcohol might have been involved with his son or something like that. And can you imagine your son getting into a situation like that during Super Bowl week, man? Like what that's going to do to your mental. I hope Andy Reid is strong enough to be able to not let that. Yeah,
he's been through a lot too. His other son died of a drug overdose.
I remember that. So it's interesting when your father's Andy Reid, you're going through those kind of situations.
And he's the linebackers coach.
He's the linebackers coach over there with Kansas City right now.
Yeah.
Which is so is he going to be coaching in this game?
No, he's not traveling with the team.
He's not traveling, which probably makes sense. You got an NFL job, and if alcohol was involved, that's kind of crazy. But that's the only thing I think that's looming over the Chiefs in this game. But I just think Patrick Mahomes is going to be too much, and I think this is going to be the turn of the tide here. You got the GOAT going up against, you called him the kid. That's what they call the baby GOAT. And I think it'll be, this is going to be a transfer type thing. I just think Patrick Mahomes is going to be too much in this game. He knows what's at stake here. And he needs another one. He's the youngest quarterback to go to 2 Super Bowls. And I think this is just the beginning of his legacy. And with the eye test, he's the best quarterback I've seen with my 2 eyes, probably ever, in all the years I've been watching NFL. So I'm going to go 34-20. I think that the secondary of the Chiefs is going to be a little bit too much for Tom Brady early, where Tom Brady's going to have to put the ball in the air late, and they're going to know it to try to put points on the board. That's why with all the prop bets that you posted there, I was saying a lot of unders. Mm-hmm. I think Mike Evans is going to struggle. I think he'll end up getting his, maybe a good 6-7 catches, but a lot of it will come late. I just think the Chiefs are going to take this game.
So Lucas wants to know if we think the turf toe will play a factor. We touched on it a little bit, but I don't think it will play a factor unless it does play a factor.
Exactly. Unless he re-aggravates it or something like you were saying. I don't see it playing a factor. You saw him in the last game. He looked fine.
And he's had it an extra week. Obviously we know turf toe is one of those things that lingers and can be re-aggravated. But it's a Super Bowl. I don't see, a lot of these guys, that you're going to have to take their leg.
Yeah. Facts.
They're going to go out. They want to play in the Super Bowl.
There was somebody playing with a major injury you talked about.
Whitehead is playing with a torn labrum.
Oh, yeah, Whitehead, yeah. And he's been having a pretty good playoff run here too, man. It is a tough game to pick, but I can't go against the Chiefs. I just can't,
It makes sense. And, it's just to see Brady and Mahomes, to me, that's what kind of makes it special too. Because, Brady is in the dynasty that they had in New England, right? And to be able, I think that's the best part about him playing in the NFC. Because, it sucks because we lost to them to go and they went to the Super Bowl, you know, in the first round, Washington did. But, to be able to see him basically play against somebody who potentially, and I think both of us probably would agree, has the potential to equate what Tom Brady has done, if not surpass at the end of the day in his career in Patrick Mahomes, So to be able to see the two of them face each other, it kind of really makes it special, in my opinion.
It does. It definitely does.
And I think that, I'm pretty sure the two of them have a level of respect for each other, as players on the field. And it's just I don't know, like watching Tom Brady and watching Patrick Mahomes as a fan of the game is fun. You know,
For
like
sure.
a lot of people.
I almost think that Tom Brady's Super Bowl statistics, it's almost like some Cal Ripken vibes. I don't think they're going to be touched. You know, he was fortunate enough to not only be a fantastic quarterback, but to also be in a dynasty with Bill Belichick, you know? So I don't see them, you know, I heard some people talking about they might be doing a second dynasty here with the Bucs. I don't see that happening. I mean, the Bucs barely kind of squeaked their way into the Super Bowl this year, you know. They played a good game against the Packers there, but, you know, they did struggle in every one of these games. It's not like they just convincingly are beating teams.
Yeah, and you know, this is the thing, too, is how much longer do you think Tom Brady plays for? He's what?
Give him 2 years. He's 43.
43, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he threw 40 touchdowns this year.
And that's the thing is, like, if he were to win a Super Bowl now, it would make it easier for him to bow out maybe at age 44, 45, you know, no later than 46. But if he doesn't win it here, he's going to come back next year and try to get it and then let them get close again. Then what? You know, you might start pressing and trying to win another.
I think he's addicted to it.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll never understand these players that are just like, yeah, I'm done. Like, you know, like Barry Sanders being one of them. Like, I just never could understand Barry Sanders retiring. Like, all the pressure that he had from his father, you know, not being his father's favorite running back and his father being, you know, always saying that Jim Brown was the best running back and all that. Barry Sanders could have shattered all these running back records if he would have played another 5-6 more years. If that, you know, and for him to just bow out, it was kind of interesting to me.
It's same thing with Calvin Johnson, you know, like, that's the two guys from the same franchise.
Yeah, and Calvin Johnson, you know, with him, I think it was the losing. You know, consistently not being able to get a chance to win those chips, man. And yeah, I mean, I think that was tough for him.
Yeah, one day I'm sure, and he said too that he's trying to, you know, he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, which is kind of crazy, like to think, like, man, has that much time passed by between Calvin Johnson, Charles Woodson, and Peyton Manning, and now they're going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, with Megatron, it seems the shortest. You know, like Charles Woodson, he played later than I could have imagined. You know, like when I think back to his last years in the league, it feels like they were like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
but with Megatron, it feels like it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
I mean, and this is an amazing class that they're inducting into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, and hopefully, COVID is all cleared up by the time Hall of Fame game comes around this summer, because that was one of the things that we had originally talked about trying to go do. Remember, was go to the Hall of Fame game. You know what I'm saying?
In the preseason, yep, opening day.
So it's interesting, and you know, as Mac, the Giants fan, brought up, like I do hope it lives up to the hype. And this is the thing, is that, like, I think that sometimes fans don't understand the actual hype. Like, if it's not a shootout, it doesn't mean that it didn't live up to the hype, you know?
Yeah.
I think even if it's...
You know, Giants fans can speak to that. I mean, there was, 10 points in the first half of our first Super Bowl against Patriots, you know? And the final score was only like 17-14, something like that. You know? So.
And then it's just like, if I think more so not living up to the hype would probably be if it's a blowout, right? And a blowout, like, throughout. Like,
maybe. I think if the Chiefs go in here and blow them out, let's say like somewhere around my score, 34-14, 34-20 or something like that, I think fans will be happy with that. I think the game that people definitely don't want to see here, where it'll be a bust kind of game, is if it's low scoring. You know, neither team really gets the wheels going, and you're looking at like a, you know, 19-14 final score. That's not going to live up to it.
Like that one?
Yeah.
That's that Rams-Patriots game?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like a brutal, like, defensive battle.
I don't want to see that with two teams that are, you know, built around the offense.
But I mean, you don't. But what happens if you get caught up in the mix and it's like, poof?
Then I think that'll be the not living up to the hype.
You know, like some Any Given Sunday, like sort of like
Mahomes
people
come away from this game with 1 touchdown, 160 yards. People can be like, what? And Tom Brady, 2 interceptions, 1 touch. Nah, it can't be that kind of game. It's got to be like one of these quarterbacks got to have 3 touchdowns for it to live up to the quote unquote hype.
That's a good point.
You know, because they're hyped up offenses, both of them. You know, the Bucs have kind of
There's a lot
scored
of weapons.
over 30 points a lot in this season, especially winding down in the back half. And we know what the Chiefs could do. You know, the Chiefs, look at these numbers Tyreek Hill's been putting up, you know? So I think fans want to show, you know? You don't want to go to a rap show and see 5 songs. You trying to, and it'd be a bunch of unsung records that you didn't hear on the radio. You trying to get the hits. You want it all.
Okay.
I think people are going to want it all in this game.
Do you think there'll be a defensive/special teams touchdown in the game?
If there is one, I think it'll be Kansas City. I think they got the better chance at the punt return to be able to get one and maybe getting a pick 6 on Tom Brady because Tom Brady is slow as dirt. So if he throw a little out route and it gets picked off, he's not making no tackle. You know, you got to rely on Fournette to maybe get back. So I would say that if it happens, it will be with the Chiefs. But I don't know, man. I think that maybe people are kind of forgetting, and I could be wrong on this, but I think people are forgetting how powerful this Chiefs team is. You know, not let alone the offense. But the defense has been playing really well. I expect Honey Badger to go out here and just lay it all out on the line and try to get another Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. There's superstars all over the field, offense, defense, even wearing the headsets.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, Green Bay, New Orleans, yeah, but I think Tampa Bay's slow start had a lot to do with, you know, just them not being on the same page with the whole new, you know, system and everything like that, and quarterback and
new players. All
but
of that.
I think in the end, you probably got the 2 best teams playing each other in a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that you know, the Saints and the Packers, they lack tenacity and like ferociousness. Whereas the Bucs have that, you know, they have it up front with JPP and Ndamukong Suh, Devin White. They got it with those players. Same thing goes with the Chiefs, you know. When you got guys like Honey Badger out there, man, like these are people that are going to bring the heat on defense and offensively. I mean, they're just a powerhouse, you know. So it should be a really good game, but I don't think it'll be a really close game. You know, I think we'll see a lot of great highlights from this game. But I think it's going to be more Patrick Mahomes than it'll be Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's going to try to put the team on his back when they go down, and it might lead to mistakes.
Man, but it's going to be crazy. So we got you know, kickoff is going to be soon.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I think Josie's going to bring us some wings.
That's what I heard, yo. They're going to throw down, talking about maybe ordering some pizza too or something like that. So yeah, we going to be nice.
I got to lose 27 pounds, Authentic. I tell you that.
You're going to try to lose 27
pounds.
Should be easy for you, man. Just diet for you, bro. I remember you lost. A lot of y'all on the podcast don't know. The beard used to be like, okay, so when we was coming up as kids, the beard was like built more like I'm built, like very lean and slender. And as we got older and, you know, we crossed the threshold of the alcohol age limit.
Yeah. Even before that.
He blew up. And at one point, you was probably like
I was
280.
I was close to 300 pounds.
Yeah, he was a big dude. And over the time span of about a year, just changing his diet and taking alcohol completely out of the mix, he lost a ton of weight, man. Leaned down, got down to maybe lower than I was at one point.
I got down to like 155.
Yeah, that's lower than me. So yeah, you were definitely under me. And now I kind of got a little pudge, little COVID snacks.
Yeah, the COVID got me in the 7-Eleven pizza.
The 7-Eleven pizzas, man. Yeah, man.
So yeah, I'll tell you what's really dope though is that Josie's office, you know, there's nobody there. That everybody works from home, right?
Yeah.
But there's a gym in our office.
Okay.
So
you about to hit the gym.
I'm about to just go to the gym and not have to worry about anybody being there. So I'm gonna do that one time a week. And you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna get down to 27 pounds because I gotta get ready for Authentic versus The Beard.
Oh yeah, I'm about to torch you. You already know.
The training
Marjorie
must
said,
begin.
you look great. Losing weight can be tough, and that's definitely right. And I'm telling you, this dude made losing weight look very easy. Like, for the people that missed him and didn't see him within that year, it was like 6 to 9 months they came back, and it was like, yo, you got your license picture?
I do. No, it's upstairs.
Oh, my God. Yo, his license picture is still when he's a little bit large.
We'll do like a Twitter. Maybe I'll post it on Twitter for everybody.
Oh, you got to post that. Yeah, make sure you blur out all the
Make sure you
info.
guys are following us on Twitter, @Awthentic, @TimWalkOnWater too. So we're going to be back on Tuesday, guys. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be doing our recap of the Super Bowl on Tuesday, and then we're going to be getting ready for this offseason, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Giants are going to do in free agency, man. I see people talking about we leaning towards the wide receiver from Carolina, Samuel. I'm not a big fan, but he might be cheap. I still want to get somebody like Galladay here, and I want to address it in the draft. Maybe get 2 wide receivers.
I heard somebody say he might stay now.
Galladay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chance of that. And I think that's why a lot of Giants fans were leaning off that.
See, we're like Washington, like the big question is the quarterback.
Big facts.
And I'll tell you honestly,
Darnold.
I'm sick and tired of it. There she is.
Finally made it. Hey, with like a minute to spare.
So
Y'all say congratulations to Josie in the chat one time.
Yeah, so this is my now fiance.
Oh, you gave the little French, a little
fiance.
We're going to have croissants in.
Yeah. But I'm sick and tired of hearing about Deshaun Watson and Washington football fans.
Man, I've been seeing people like Giants fans been talking about that too. Like, oh, it's not gonna happen. I mean, let people dream, man. Because then if it do happen, you're gonna like, yo. Do you remember when Deion Sanders went to Washington? Nobody thought that was gonna happen.
Oh yeah, they called that. That was the year they called them the Fortune 500 club because they spent a fortune on the players that offseason, like all those big name older guys, and we finished 500. So they called that team the Fortune 500 team.
Donovan McNabb was like that too. Like, yo, who would have thought that the Eagles were gonna send Donovan McNabb to Washington?
And I was excited about that, but
yeah, that should have worked out.
But you know how I feel about that situation. You know how I feel about what they do to. I don't want to get into it, but those quarterbacks here in Washington. They always end up getting the short end of the stick. I don't know why, but Donovan McNabb, RG3, Dwayne Haskins. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, the RG3 experiment. I mean, I think like it all happened for a reason. I think that he really wasn't the guy. I think he wasn't the guy.
Yeah, but. The thing is with Watson, right? Look, Kyle is a Houston Texans fan, so and he lives here in DC now. So he's like, I wouldn't mind Watson coming to Washington. But this is the thing that people have to understand. Like, what makes me mad about Washington fans is that they're like they better go, throw everything at him, and I'm just like, you have to remember that Deshaun Watson has a no trade clause in his contract, even though he's demanding a trade, he still has to agree to where he wants to be traded to. So even if Washington offered them everything, he could just say, I don't want to play for Washington.
But he did come out and say, he told them, top 2 teams, and he mentioned the Jets and Miami.
Yeah.
I would go to Washington over both those teams. I don't care what Miami's doing right now in that rebuild. I would go to Washington over both those teams. And to be a black quarterback in Washington always means something. You know how that is out here in D.C. The fans would get behind that 1,000%.
For sure.
So, I mean, if in the position that y'all are in, the problem is what you would have to give up for him. But I'd be down.
I went off on PFF on Twitter because PFF was like, put together the proposed trade of trading Chase Young and 3 first-round draft picks for Deshaun Watson.
I mean, 3 and Chase Young is crazy.
It's crazy, right?
But if you said
no
2,
sense.
If you said like 2, like futures and Chase Young, I would have to think about it.
Yeah, but I personally, maybe just because I've seen
now, Kalen, I'm not saying it's not a better situation. What I'm saying is, if I was a quarterback, I would rather go to the D.C. market. The D.C. market makes more money than almost any team in the NFL outside of Dallas and maybe New York. Miami has nice weather, but they don't care about football down there.
Yeah, and this is the thing is, like, I just, with Chase Young and Terry McLaurin, and obviously, not to say anything bad against the rest of the guys that have, we have a foundation now. Like, we have put together a foundation here. And I just feel like if you got rid of Chase Young or Terry McLaurin, that you're getting Deshaun Watson. I understand that. But in the grand scheme of things, it feels like you're taking a step back.
Terry McLaurin would be completely off limits if it was me. He'd be off limits because, and Deshaun Watson said this, he said, he doesn't want to be traded to a team where they're going to completely clean out the team where he don't got no weapons.
Yeah. Because
what I would have to look at is, let's see. So Washington last year, y'all had 47 sacks on the year. Is Chase Young expendable? That would be the main thing that would go through my mind.
And I think
how much did he add to the sack rate? How much did he add to stopping the run? All of that. I would consider all of that.
But you know what else you have to consider, though? You just have to consider about think about the attitude of the difference in the attitude of the team from years past to what it was like when he came here. It changed.
I don't think it really changed. I think y'all had a setback with the Alex Smith injury. But I think that team at 6-2, I think it was 6-2 or 6-3 with Alex Smith, is a better team than you saw on the field all year long with Washington this year. And I just think like quarterback is a major problem over there. You saw it without Alex Smith, y'all were like 3-8 or something like that. He was 1-5, or he was 5-1. So quarterback play is definitely a problem, and you don't want to look at Alex Smith being the guy going into next year. So what do? Do you address it in the draft and take a risk on a guy? You're probably going to draft him higher than you really want to, especially at, what are y'all, at 19?
Yeah.
It would just be something I would consider. And you also have 4 other first-round draft picks on that defensive front. Washington really never got a major problem with defense. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
They never really totally bottom of the league in defense. Like, I don't know if you remember that Giants defense from 2018 or 20. I mean, we were just, that James Betcher scheme, it was awful. The defense was so bad. It's very rare you see that in Washington. And it's an offensive league, so, but giving up 3 first-round picks like they're saying is just pretty ridiculous. But I was telling you this, man, about the Matthew Stafford thing. Like, he ruined it for all quarterback trades, and I know it off the contract of Jared Goff, but you still got 2 first-rounders from Matthew Stafford. And Deshaun Watson, they're not going to be like, well, we'll take 2 first-rounders and a player. They're going to want what you were saying more. They're going to want 3 first-rounders or 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder and a player, maybe another player, which at the end of the day, that might be a little bit too much, because you're not going to trade somebody like Cam Sims. It has to be somebody who has some value behind him.
So, and do you think Carson Wentz goes to Chicago? That's pretty much where we're at, right?
I'm not banked on it 100%, but I'm leaning towards that.
You saw that. You saw the rumor proposed trade, right?
Yeah, it was Foles back to the Eagles, right?
Foles, Cohen, and the first rounder.
Yeah, I like the pick for both sides because, the Bears do seem like they're just a quarterback away and maybe a wide receiver in the draft, or just another offensive weapon. They're going to have to fill the shoes of what Cohen did in the passing game when he was healthy. Wasn't healthy this year at all, for real. But, I mean, they could be right there. They were a playoff team. They was right there in the mix. Just quarterback play really was their downfall.
And that's weird to me, though, too, is like, I guess you throw Cohen in behind Miles Sanders. That's a nice little duo.
Yeah,
they're kind of very similar in some fashions.
Yeah, Miles Sanders can do a lot of things that Tariq Cohen does,
exactly.
but Miles Sanders is more of a power back than Tariq Cohen is. Neither of them are really a power back. And then what happens with Boston Scott? He's been there in the mix a little bit. Seems like he only torches NFC East teams though. But
that's another
one. That's another one. I don't think Dallas is going to let that go though. It would ruin what they built with the whole draft and a CeeDee Lamb getting a wide receiver.
And this is the thing too is like is Sam Darnold going to be available though?
I think they're going to trade him. I do think they're going to trade him
and draft a quarterback at number 2.
Yeah. Because they're not in position to win nothing right now. I would take the value for Sam Darnold right now and just start rebuilding, especially if in the building you see that he ain't the guy. That's the one thing, and they've been pretty quiet about that. New coach, it's going to make it interesting over there. But Sam Darnold's the kind of guy I said could go to Washington. Early on in the year I was saying,
yeah, you've been
he's
saying
a quarterback
that for a while.
Could go there,
And from the beginning, the first, it's kind of interesting. If you go back and you watch a lot of Awthentik and The Beard, do you see my initial reaction to the name Sam Darnold?
Hated it.
Right? And this is not just this season. This is going back to last season.
Yeah.
And you've seen where I've come now. I'm not as down on Sam Darnold as I have been. I'm still not high on him, but
it'd be nice to get him with another quarterback so you got some kind of security blanket. But if Alex Smith is coming back for next season, I think Sam Darnold will be the perfect guy because then you could have him as the backup for real. And then, if you see in camp, he's running this offense like a boss. He's able to maybe start. Maybe by week 3, week 4, you got a new starter in the system, and you can, you got yourself a franchise quarterback.
So who do you think is out? Do you think Heineke, Kyle Allen, one of those 2 guys isn't on the roster next year?
I'd get rid of Kyle Allen. I'd get rid of Kyle Allen. I mean, he can't stay healthy. That was his big problem. But let's not forget the concussion he got before he broke the bone. You know, and Taylor Heineke showed that he can do the same stuff Kyle Allen does. That they're pretty much the same quarterback.
Yeah.
Except I think that Taylor Heineke has a little bit better pocket presence. He can move around in the pocket. He might be a little. Now I'm not even gonna say more mobile because Kyle Allen can move. You know, but he just seemed a little bit smarter. But that, you know, that could all be like situational. Like he saw himself thrusted into this situation and was just playing off the hype and the adrenaline and whatnot. And like, you know, you get that guy a starting job and he's complete garbaggio. Ain't no telling. He got to prove a lot more, you know?
And that's the other thing about Washington football fans. They're like, we got our franchise quarterback. I'm like, bruh.
Game and a half.
Like, listen, let me tell you something. First of all, I think Heineke earned himself a shot at making the roster, right?
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Because it's not like he came in for a game and a half in like the middle of the season or a preseason game. It was the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, so I give him that. But if you really look at the game tape from his time playing, there's about 4 or 5 instances where he got lucky that those weren't interceptions. They were just bad decisions, bad throws. Albeit he made some great throws and some great decisions and made some plays. You know, like, it's just easy to get lost in the hype when we're fans.
And you got to
of
look at the
football.
matchups he was going up against too. I mean, when you look at the Bucs team, they send pressure, and he found a way to maneuver around the pressure, which then in return opened up things down the field. It's not going to be like that all the time.
No,
you know?
And then when people get tape on you, it's
totally different.
It's different, but it's gonna. We're gonna have a whole off season to talk quarterback carousel because I feel like it's gonna get juicier and juicier.
And I think we're gonna have somebody in Washington before we know it. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, and the
pull up in the G says, "Let's go Giants. Let's talk about Giants." You damn right, man. It's Giants Nation in the building all day, man. You know what it is.
Oh man.
But you know, so I want to lead them with the Super Bowl pick here. I know we got off on a little Washington quarterback tangent there. Let's remind them, what was your pick one more time?
Okay, so I took Kansas City, and I think I said the final score was 29-27.
Yeah, so you got Tampa Bay covering the 3.
Yeah.
I got this being a blowout here. I got it 34-20 the Chiefs, and I don't think that they're going to be able to stop Patrick Mahomes in this passing onslaught. But we'll see, man. I mean, maybe
I'm most excited to see how well Awthentik does on the over/under section.
Oh, I think we're going to be nice on that. Yeah, as long as the Chiefs get the W, I think we're going to be nice on that.
It's going to be interesting, man. I'm excited. Look, I don't know if you guys know this, but Super Bowl, it's like if you're not happy and excited for the Super Bowl, it's the one game where it doesn't really matter. Like, you can forget about your team and enjoy like football like fully.
You see, you not speaking from a Giants fan perspective. We need to get back.
Yeah, we need to get back. Yeah, but I'm saying like right now you don't got to worry about it.
I'm about to watch this game just like any other playoff game. If the Bucs win, I ain't gonna feel no kind of way. If the Chiefs win, I'm not gonna feel like, you know, put me on top of the mountain. I don't care, to be honest. I'm like, whatever, man. Like and I was gonna ask you this, and we'll end it with this.
Okay.
How many years? And I'll answer this question myself for my team. How many years is it going to take for Washington and New York to get back to a Super Bowl?
I love this question. This is a great Super Bowl question, Awthentik. Job well done.
Yeah, you like that, right?
Okay. How many more years is Tom Brady playing quarterback?
Give him 3, probably. I don't think he's going to be in the way. I think you're overhyping him.
No, I know.
And I'll go out on a limb and say this. With this roster, Jameis Winston would have had this team in the playoffs, and they would have been playing about the same. I'm going to keep it 100, man. Look at all the people they brought in. And I hear media always saying that, man. They're like, oh, he took this 7-9 team, you know. But not, bro, this is a totally different offense. You got mad new players on this team. You drafted capital that actually plays on the field right now.
No, but it's not necessarily. There's a lot of the same team, though. I mean, you know me, like, I'm not a Jameis Winston hater. You know what I'm saying?
Some of it is the same team, but I think that Jameis Winston, the problem was the mistakes. That's where Tom Brady fixes some of the stuff Jameis Winston did. But Tom Brady didn't throw for 5,000 yards.
Fisk says they win a title once a decade.
This is facts. I like to tell, no cappuccino. Fisk, what up, man? How you living, fam?
All right, so I generally believe
you got a minute.
Okay,
you got a minute.
Okay, I generally believe you know that I think that Daniel Jones has the potential.
Wait, I don't want you answering this for my team. Answer it for your team.
Oh, I thought we were answering it for both teams.
Nah, man. Keep your Giants critiques over there, man. I want you to answer that for Washington.
Oh, okay.
I'll answer it for my team.
I was going to give you one for both teams.
Give me one for your team first, and then maybe we'll get one. Because I'm going to say Washington 20 years.
What? Come on, man. All right. I think...
Bro, we might die and not see another Washington Super Bowl.
Come on, man.
Hey, come on. You burn the clock here, man. That shot clock is running down.
I got 4 years.
4 years before y'all in the Super Bowl. That's ludicrous. All right, I'm gonna say it's ludicrous. I'm gonna say the Giants will be in the Super Bowl in 3 years.
Okay, so let me ask you this: why is it
2024.
ludicrous if I say 4 and you say 3?
Well, think about the last time Washington was in the Super Bowl. How many Super Bowls have you seen in your lifetime as a Washington football team fan?
1.
Right. I've seen 3, like, very consciously as a Giants fan.
But you...
4. Wait, 4.
But listen, that don't mean nothing now.
What do you mean it doesn't mean anything now? You heard Fisk, man. We get one a decade.
Okay. But...
We're the New York Football Giants, man. We're not the Washington with no name.
I was going to be nice and give y'all...
I
was going to be nice and give y'all a single-digit review.
That would be not nice. That would be just due.
Look, I think we're both right around the same, time frame.
No, bro. We got Saquon Barkley. We might catch one with Saquon Barkley.
We got Antonio Gibson.
Ain't no Saquon Barkley.
You don't know that yet?
I do know that. What you mean I don't know that?
You know I'm a big Saquon guy. Look, this is the year.
We about to add a playmaker. Y'all got the 19th pick in the draft. Y'all probably looking at a quarterback here that's probably going to be another bust.
Nah. Bateman.
I'll let you keep thinking that, man.
Hey, NFC.
I said 1 minute to be faded.
NFC Championship game 2024.
No,
New York Giants and Washington.
I'm going to go ahead and that would mean one team would have to be a wild card and really win some games. I'm going to go ahead and just say this, and I'm not going out on a limb. I'm going to just keep 100, okay? We're not going to see the Giants versus Washington in a championship game before we die. It's not going to happen.
It has to happen.
Pull the tape up when it happens.
For the cause of the podcast.
It's not going to happen. You might get a playoff game, but it's not going to happen.
All right, we'll see, man.
And the Giants, I think we have just the pieces to be able to do this faster than the Giants. I mean, we got a top 3 cornerback on our defense. We got a top 3 middle linebacker who had a Pro Bowl snub this year on our defense. We got young youth on the defensive line, which y'all do too. But like I said, I do think Chase Young is a little bit overhyped. I do.
We're going to find out. You going to see.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to see, but we're going to find out. We'll definitely find out. So for Washington, I'll keep it 100. I'm going to say 12 years maybe. For the Giants, I'm going to say 2024. We're going to be right there. We'll be right there. And y'all know what it is. Giants Nation in the building.
It wouldn't be Authentic and The Beard without a Giants prediction like that from Authentic.
Hey, man, I'm just keeping on. If it don't happen in 3 years, it'll definitely happen in the decade.
I understand that, but there should be no reason to think that Washington isn't on the same pace as making a Super Bowl as New York Giants are.
History, man.
History, yeah.
In the past 20 years, I've seen 3 Super Bowls with my team in it.
We talking about the future.
Yeah, you got to look at the history. That's why Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl right now.
All right, we're going to see.
Yeah, that's all you can say is, all right, he's making noises like my cat over here. We're going to see. Yeah, we're going to see. I promise you, man.
Oh,
New York's going to be there, man. And I think we got the guy at the helm for quarterback to do it. He just got to show up and be able to, Stephen Lilly, from Authentic's lips to God's ears, please. That's facts, bro.
Look, that's all we missing, though, Fisk. Once we get a QB, we in there like swimwear.
No, you need a name first. You're not going to a Super Bowl with football team as your name. It's not happening. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. But keep your hopes high, bro.
Hey,
you never know. You might get a fluke one. I ain't gonna front. 2007, I didn't think the Giants was going to the Super Bowl. And when we got there, I didn't even think we was gonna win the Super Bowl.
All I can say is for the next, 6 or 7 months, it's defending NFC East champion Washington football team.
That's awesome.
Just want to say it,
when you lose a lot, you look for little things to hold on to. To be able to say,
no.
You ain't never going to hear me say, hey, man, we're the defending NFC East champions. We don't say that type of stuff over here, man. We defend rings.
Well, when you're building to get back to glory, that's what you do. You take steps.
Nah, you know what you do? You keep your eye on the prize and you don't gloat over the small ones.
I'm not gloating. You ain't never seen me gloat. I don't gloat.
What is it? Until how many months did you say? How many months?
6, 7.
6, 7 months. It's gonna be the NFC's defending champions. How many times have teams gone back to back defending the NFC's in the past 20 years? It just doesn't happen. So hold on to that. I mean, yeah. You know what to say? Bums hold on to stuff like that. In Washington, they've been some bums for a long, long time, man. But look at the kitty over here, man. Just want to pull up on me like that, huh? But any last words, man, for the fans before we get up out of here?
Look, this was. It almost felt like we never left.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Man, it was a good week and a half, something like that.
Yeah, I know.
We ain't leave them,
but sometimes, it feels like for forever. But this was fun.
Forever's a mighty long time.
Yeah. This was a lot of fun.
Shout out to Big Crit.
Shout out to everybody. Yeah, man, I love me some Big Crit.
Oh,
Shout out to everybody that watched us on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube. If you haven't hit the thumbs up already, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Press the bell. Do all of the jingles and the jangles. Enjoy your Super Bowl. Eat some good food. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get a good game. I'll be on Twitter. I'm sure Awthentik will be on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, I'll be play-by-play on Twitter, man, most definitely. I still got to check out that video, Fisk. I know you just put out that video about Carson Wentz. You got a couple new videos I need to check out, man. And if y'all haven't seen, 2 videos y'all need to see right now is Fisk Vegas versus Kid Blue on that last stream they did on the Young Guns podcast. I think I'm going to bring them on the podcast to bring up that exact topic they was talking about on the show. They were talking about, did the Giants ever truly commit to the rebuild? I'm on Fisk Vegas side on this one saying that no, they never truly committed. So make sure y'all check out that video and make sure you check out the podcast that me, Diggy, and Fisk did on Diggy's channel, man. Just incredible podcast. We got to do that more, man. That vibe was just right for me, man. So until we catch y'all on Tuesday, man, y'all enjoy y'all Super Bowl. Make sure y'all eat good. Stay away from these people out here in the streets. Everybody getting COVID once a week. So stay safe out there. I'm Awthentik, left side.
Strong side.
From the Beard, man. Y'all enjoy y'all night, man. It was dope catching back up with y'all, man.
Peace.
Peace, y'all. Peace.